and they asked me, like, one of my mentors and like what I did and what I suggested. And it took me a second, because when I was in my young 20s, a friend of mine, I saw go, like, he was, if any of y'all had those friends in high school that they were like the troubled kid in high school, always getting in trouble, your parents were like, don't hang out with him, the one that was drinking or doing drugs or partying or whatever, right? The distraction, could barely pass high school, flunked out of college, and then all of a sudden I get a phone call from someone and saying, oh, you got to talk to this guy, he's doing prepaid phone cards and he's making like over $1 million a year, and he's from your little small town. Like, and so at the time I went to high school in this little one-horse town. And so I was like, well, I have to know who he is because he's similar to my age. I go, who is he? And they said his name. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Because he was that guy, right? But he was making $1 million a year. And I thought I was really big time. I was 21 years old making 5 figures, over 10 grand a month, 100,000 a year. Back in 1992, that's a ton of money, right? It's still a ton of money. And so I'm thinking, I'm cool. And I hear this. And I was like, well, what's his name? And they tell me his name. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. He's not making that. They're like, yeah, he is. So my brain immediately went to where? And this is what I say is the magic of modeling or teaching or coaching anyone in life. My brain went, high school trouble kid, college flunky. If he can do it, hell, I know I can do it. Why? Because I valued myself more than him. And I think sometimes we see people on stage or whatever, and we think, oh, there's something about Blake that he has that I don't. No, that's not true. But like, I think that it was serendipitous that happened, because I immediately went to, get me on the phone with him immediately. And when I talked to him, he spoke to me with this level of confidence, right? That I felt it exude from him. And he goes, man, I'm just telling you to stop whatever you're doing. Listen, just follow me. I'm going to get you in the magazine. So he immediately played to my ego, right? He goes, but we're going to get you to $1 million a year in no time flat, man. I mean, if you're making $10,000 a month there, you're going to make $100,000 a month. This thing is easy peasy. Is it easy? No. However, I didn't believe otherwise because of the certainty he was talking. And remember, my association, there's a movie called The Edge, and it has Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin in it. And Anthony Hopkins is a billionaire, and they get stranded in this island in Alaska. And there's this bear hunting them, a big grizzly bear, big brown bear hunting them. And the entire time that they're on the trip, he's reading the survival guide. Anthony Hopkins, the billionaire, is, right? And he's still talking with everyone. And in part of the survival guide talks about how to, if you come across eye to eye, belly to belly with a bear, what you do. And so they get on this whole journey, and he just gets really lit up. And he goes, and Alec Baldwin's scared to death because the bear just killed one of the people that was with him. But the difference was the billionaire wasn't scared of it, right? Because he was preparing. He was setting a plan and preparing for the bear. Right? Sometimes the things that we fear, that we're scared of the most, if we just would like prepare ourselves and create a plan, that fear will be dissipated because we will have a level of confidence that it's not unsurmountable, we can overcome it. And that's what the billionaire did. So the billionaire is no different than the other guys, except he prepared. And there's confidence in preparing. But there's one line in the movie that I always resonate with. And I'll never forget, he gets this fired up, coaching Alec Baldwin, who was scared to death. And he goes, we're going to survive. Say it. We're going to survive, in Anthony Hopkins' brilliant voice. And Alec's looking, we're going to survive. We're going to survive. Say it. God damn it. Say it. We're going to survive. We're going to survive. That's right. What one man can do, another can do. Say it. What one man can do, another can do. Fucking say it. Like, I mean, he's literally getting into it. And that just resonates with me all the time. What one man can do, another can do. What one person can do, another can do. And so there's a lot of like brilliance in that entire dialogue, because everyone has a little bit of fear of going to the next level or breaking free from where they're at to get where they're always destined to go. But what you have to understand is that the billionaires, the people that are living life on their terms, that are living free, they simply plan for it. It doesn't mean that they don't have fear when this big bear's attacking them, but they have strategy now that they can buy into. And that strategy was a stick going back and having the bear fall on a stick instead of trying to out strengthen the bear, use the bear's weight and strength against him, right? And so he killed the fucking bear. The whole point for me, from a business perspective, is when I had my friend, college dropout from high school, doing it, that was what resonated with me. If he can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. And I think that that's for anything in life. And the whole point of proximity is I got interviewed, and this person was asking me a question about that story. And they said, well, what did you do? Like, whenever you said, okay, I'm going to do, what did you do? And it hit me. I said, I immersed myself. I followed him wherever he was going. I was on every call he was on. And to the point where I became who he was. Not value-wise, but from a confidence perspective or a certainty perspective, I actually leveled up my standard to where he was living because I was around him so much. But I said the thing that really I could resonate the most with now, retrospect looking back, was I spoke the way he spoke. See, he had 100,000 reasons why it was working for him, and he had that confidence and truth and certainty. When I just started, it had zero. So I was able to borrow that confidence from him until I built my own, right? And I think that that's so important because I immediately said it was proximity. I didn't realize it at the time, but I put myself in proximity of someone that was living at a level that I wanted to live, until I gained that confidence to where I was living that way. But it was such a dramatic impact. Literally, there was times where he wouldn't show up on training calls, and I would become him. Legitimately, we didn't have Zoom. I would say that I was him, and I would repeat exactly what he would say in the tone that he would say it in, and the intensity that he would say it in, the cadence that he would say it in, but most importantly, the confidence and the certainty. And people didn't realize it was me. I was mirroring, and I was literally, what do they call it? I was an imposter. I would introduce myself as him, and then I would run with it. Until one day I realized I don't fucking need him. I can be my own person, because see, I didn't like a lot of the values that he stood for. So there was an incongruency there. But once I got the confidence that I didn't need him, I just needed to realize what got him to that level of success was his certainty, his confidence, in terms of the cadence and intensity in which he was pursuing what he was pursuing. But I could take all of those elements and I could put them into this heart of mine, and I could stack that with my value system and be more congruent and even be more powerful than he was. And by the way, not more powerful, but twice as successful. Why? Because that success came because I was living congruent to who I am. So now all of a sudden I'm happy. I feel more joy. I don't feel this tug of war inside me because, if your heart is in one place, but your mind is in fear and scarcity or depending on somebody else, you're living a life of misery because you are at a complete tug of war. You cannot have a feeling from your heart in your mindset in a different direction and not be torn. But it's the brain-heart connection, right? Is that they communicate together. So when it's in cognitive dissonance is when you have two completely opposing thoughts in your brain, they're incongruent to each other, right? It creates this pull on you. And you can have the same dissonance from your heart and your head. So your heart feels one thing, and the reality of it is you have to follow your heart, not your head, because your head plays tricks on itself because of the 2 million years of programming that the brain comes from. And you have to totally immerse yourself, and you have to be in the proximity of people that aren't diluted by circumstances, or they're not convoluted by the level of complacency and contentment.
What is up? Oh, wait, I need to start my captioning. Wait one second. I think we're good. Hello. It's the first time I've ever streamed with Danielle, and I kind of threw her into this hot mess express that is my stream sometimes. But we're co-streaming to each other's channel, and we're going to be talking about the effery that's been going on with Prove It and Brian Underwood and Jessie Lee Ward, and we're going to be watching one of the participants' lives that they all did after this experience. And I'm just trying to make sure, sorry, my captions are being a brat. I'm going to let Danielle introduce herself to my channel, and then I will let you know who's responsible for the technical difficulties, and then we will get right on in there. So Danielle, do you want to give us the spark notes of who you are and what you're doing on the internet and all that other good stuff? Yeah. Yes, love it. Love it. Yes, love it. And I found you because of the Jessie Lee Ward debacle, and we call it the Colombia fiasco. And we're no shade to Colombia, all the shade to Jessie Lee Ward and Prove It and frickin' Brian Underwood for continuing to platform her behavior because she makes a crap ton of money for Prove It. And so so I'm so excited to have connected with Danielle, and then I was on one of her videos in the comment section. I was like, hey, you want to collab? And go for no as one of the only skills I learned in multi-level marketing, and here we are streaming together. So let me go ahead and fix my captions again. All right, I'm DeeCee. Oh no, shit. Okay. Well, this happened last time. God dang it. I don't know why. Please hold. God dang it. Okay. Danielle, I'm going to give you a link, and then I'm going to have you come back in. So I'm going to give you a new link. Okay? Sorry. God damn it. Okay. Yes, I'm going to send it through Insta. All right. Yes, you can. Dang it. Sorry. Sorry. Dang it. Fixing. All right, sorry guys. I thought I had this worked out and I don't. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. God, I thought this was gonna work. So it did not work. Let me fix this. And I'm gonna let her introduce herself again and we're gonna fix it all. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to invite guest, and I'm going to let her introduce herself again. And what the hell is happening in the corner? Which corner is it? This corner? Is that it? Oh, God. All right. I'm going to Instagram right now. Sorry, everyone. I knew I should have checked. Oh, I feel so bad. God dang it. This happens every time, and I'm not sure why. Shoot! Here we go. Oh, what is this nonsense? Thank you guys for your patience. I was trying to have both of us with captions so that everyone could participate in the captions at the beginning, but didn't work. So live and learn. Sorry to Danielle's channel. Very, very, very sorry. Let me see. I'm gonna put the live chat on the screen. What absolute awfulness. I'm so sorry to Danielle's channel. Okay, here we go. I'm big. I'm too big. Okay. This is awful. Okay, Danielle, I'm going to let you introduce yourself again because no one could hear you. And I already pre-apologized to Danielle for the technical difficulties that I was sure was going to happen, and it did. And I'm so sorry. I'm going to fix the captions as well. So please let Danielle introduce herself, and I will be right back.
Awesome. Okay, I love it. I actually give all the credit to you because I usually only go live on TikTok and all I have to do is press a single button on my phone. So it's all good. Hello, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Danielle. I started creating small business content on TikTok, kind of fell into this rabbit hole of coaches coaching coaches on how to coach coaches, and nobody really had a real business. Started making content talking about that. I've been a longtime fan of anti-MLM. And when the whole Jessie Lee Colombia fiasco happened, I figured I might as well jump on board. And it was awesome because I've been able to connect with people like DeeCee and other creators, and it's been a lot of fun. So super excited to be here. And I said this before, but you couldn't hear me. I've never gone on a live stream on YouTube, so please be nice to me in the comments. Thank you.
Yes, and again, I don't know what is going on. Normally this works okay, but apparently my captions are not working. Okay, I will make sure to caption this after the live stream. All the technical difficulties are on me. I try to do too many things and it didn't work this time. So thank you all for your patience. Thank you for sticking with us. I found Danielle through the Jessie Lee Colombia fiasco situation. She's been covering it, and like she said, she has a whole range of things that she covers on her channel, which is incredible. And I dipped into her comments one day and I was like, you want to go live? And she was like, hell yeah. And so she sent me a hey hun message to start off the conversation, and it was hilarious. It was just kind of retaking back all of the awful cold messages I've ever gotten. So we're going to be listening to one of the participants today. And before we start, I want to bring attention, and let me just put the chat on the screen and see if we can sort this out. And I'm going to put you up here. Perfect. So if you see the chat on the screen over here, it's going to be both of our streams on the screen. So if you are in Danielle's chat, hello, your comments will be up here and my chat will be up here as well. Please, absolutely, please go subscribe to Danielle's channel. High quality content, articulate, creative, all the good sound quality. So I definitely would recommend
That's the
going.
priority.
Yeah. I mean, you're not making our ears bleed. So that's all, that's great. The fact, and give me, because you help businesses and you help people like with their businesses, can you tell me from that perspective, the fact that a CEO of Prove It continues to platform someone like Jessie Lee Ward, like, what are your thoughts on that from your perspective and like what you do for a living?
Honestly, it's quite embarrassing. And when I even like listening to the intro, the whole rhetoric that a lot of these, not even just specifically Improve It, but like any top level MLM, the rhetoric that they spew is so out of touch with reality, like the reality of most individuals. Having been someone who I successfully built my own business 5 years ago over the course of, 4 or 5 years, and then consistently help other individuals do the same, it's like very disheartening for someone who outright lies to people, for lack of a better term, and sort of sells them on this dream of, owning their own business and accumulating all of this wealth when they rightfully know that that's not realistic for most people. And so with the content that I create, that's something I speak to a lot with, the coaches coaching coaches on a business that's imaginary. And it's the same thing in the MLM space. Like, I'm going to teach you how to build your own business, but we're not even doing that. I'm just straight up lying to you, trying to convince you that you're going to become a millionaire if you follow everything I say. And so in terms of like the Jessie Lee Ward situation and everything that's going on with Prove It, I think it's kind of embarrassing on behalf of the company, honestly, to continue to allow someone like this to have a platform and to share this message.
Yeah, and my thought has always been, I think that the CEO has a lot more ability to control reputation than most people give him credit for, because the buck stops somewhere at the top, and the bad behavior we see from these independent contractors who call themselves coaches or reps or whatever and Prove It, the reason they get to continue doing that is because of Brian Underwood and all the other people saying, no, they bring us too much money, so we don't give a do you curse on your channel?
Yeah.
We don't give a shit about those people because the almighty dollar is what we care about. And we see, and I felt like we saw that with this situation, how they've been handling the Colombia situation. And I'm glad so many people are covering it. I'm glad you and Aaron and Julie Joe and Savannah and Lisa and Tish and Clowntown and all, like a ton of people are covering this. Karina and Cheryl, because I hope at least the loudness of the public will say, you know what, you may care about your dollar, but we're saying something, and maybe eventually it will get enough attention that it will start impacting something they care about, which is the dollar, because they certainly don't care about the people who were on the trip. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And it's like, to me, like you and I were kind of having this conversation earlier, because I, being, a little bit of a snoopy person, decided to go look up the terms and conditions that people have to follow if they join this company.
Yeah.
And outright explicitly in their terms and conditions, it says that those who are part of the company cannot participate in activities that may cause harm or disruption to the business of Prove It or to the people who are distributing the Prove It products. So to me, I'm like, how can you watch everything that's just transpired and turn a blind eye to that? And I think you're totally right. It comes down to money. It's like everyone's morals go out the window as soon as the price is right.
Yeah, and it's almost like, and I don't know why they can do this, that the policies and procedures and code of conduct and whatever that is only in place to remove people that they want to remove at their own discretion. So it's not really a standard that people are required to live to. It's mostly a tool to get people out of the company that they don't want there, if that makes sense. So if you are, if you're making over a certain amount of money, you get a free pass. And it seems like we've seen this with Jessie Lee Ward and some other big leaders in Prove It. And I hope that, because it's not like and I guess I paused mid-thought. It's not like Jessie Lee Ward is saying, this is separate from Prove It. I'm not going to bring up the company name. I'm not going to talk about ketones. I'm not going to, talk about my connection with them with this non-approved like trip. She basically was saying, I'm with Prove It. I'm selling ketones. I'm doing keto kick. I'm taking all these supplements and all these ketones during the trip. And so are all the people. And I'm making sure everybody has enough supplements to be taking all of my MLM product throughout the whole thing. So there's not anywhere during any time that they're in Colombia that you don't know they're associated with Prove It. And so it does, I think, and I think we're on the same page. It makes Brian Underwood look bad. Not just Prove It, but Brian Underwood. And then Jessie Lee Ward posts a picture with him and says, "Thanks for never canceling me, Brian." And it's like, okay, you have decided. You've chosen your side.
You have aligned with the buffoons.
Yes. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the video in here. Hopefully it'll work. Downloads. Let's talk about traveling. Okay. And I may live chat. I might pull y'all out for the video react, but maybe we can see how it is. Let's see. Put this on the screen.
I think I am.
Oops, this is the wrong video. Okay. Let me add the other one. Remove source.
I see in the comments too, we see this with every business in corporate America. I guess that could be something that you could say is true.
Yeah, I mean, do you have good experiences where you have either studying this in school or in your general like business practice, seeing a company choose people over profit or choose ethics over hiding something or sweeping something under the rug? Do you have any experience with that?
We can't think of any like direct examples, mostly anecdotal, but I think in a lot of circumstances from like what I've heard, it's once it reaches a certain point in the public where they can no longer kind of like pretend things didn't happen, that people are more obligated to like do the right thing. Unless obviously it's like a drastic scenario, then I think it's a little bit different. I honestly think that this Prove It situation is a little bit extreme, like on the extreme side. And I'm surprised that it's kind of transpired the way it has.
Yeah, I agree.
But also not surprised at the same time.
Yeah. You just never think, or at least I don't. I never think, wow, if something really bad, they would do something. You always think like, okay, she doesn't sell stuff the way I would sell things, or maybe the way most people would sell things. Okay, it's stylistic choice. She's a little more open than maybe I would expect any salesperson to be. Okay, got it. Stylistic choice. All the times up to this point, I've been like, maybe she's just trying to be memorable. Well,
benefit of the doubt.
Yep. And then with Colombia, it's like, not just memorable, awful in how you're treating people in my opinion, after how she's treating people. So let me try to put this video in, and I'm going to put this one, and I'm going to put this. Okay, that kind of works. All right. Let me make my caption smaller just for right now so that I think that'll work. Okay. Sorry, I'm still messing around with shit. Okay. And then I'll press play. All right. Okay.
Hey friends, how are you?
Can
and
you hear?
Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I'm so glad that you have joined me. My name is Lynn Adcox and I'm from the low country of South Carolina. However, today and this week when I have gone live, I have been coming to you from Cartagena in South America. And so as you're hopping on, let me know if you are watching me live or if you have caught me on the replay. And I just want to recap a little bit about yesterday, and I'm going to go into more details once I get home because we have a mastermind that starts in about 20 minutes, and I need to go down and get my water and make sure before our mastermind tonight. So let me know who you are and where you're coming in from. Y'all, what a beautiful place it is here in South America. Now, what I will tell you is it has beautiful areas. It's very you know, a very poor country in some of the places that we have been in, some of the cities we've been in. But y'all, yesterday was crazy. If you saw my
Okay, really quickly, she's probably one of the better, the more well-spoken of the team who's made a video. I think it's important to cover the people who went on the trip in their entirety, not just show the really wild reactions. But again, you're going to see some of the language pop up where it shows kind of an elitist, it feels like, at least to me, elitist attitude about, oh, we're kind of gracing this country with our presence, and it's just a gift that we're even traveling here in the first place. And that's just some of the undertone I pick up on. Some other people might be not picking up on that, but she definitely shares some of the ideas that are prevalent on the Empire inner circle kind of team. Someone said, oops, I need to make sure that it pops us up. 1 second, sorry. There's some people asking questions about why action hasn't been taken. Again, I think it's just because Brian Underwood she makes a lot of money. I mean, I think she's the number one person in Prove It. Maybe she's not, but she's right up there with the top earners. She makes a shit ton of money for Prove It, and that's not something to blink at. Like, it makes Prove It think twice. It makes Brian Underwood think twice about removing her, because if you think about it, she's probably bringing in a chunk of the percentage of the total money for people in Prove It. And, you know, if they lose Jessie Lee, then they're losing all the money, because she's probably going to take her team to the next multi-level marketing company. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see numbers of like what percentage of the top she takes in.
Yeah. Let me try to change this. I'm going to go into settings. I'm going to move automatically. I'm trying to move these when I show advanced. Maybe
Amy's saying that in the Bahamas, they said Jessie was number one, but I don't believe any of that, because Jessie's the number one at anything she decides she's the number one.
Yeah, she's been the number one for 7, 8, 9 years in a row. And it's like, when does the truth make an appearance? I don't know. Who knows?
stories and you saw my live, and if you follow me on any other platform, hey Susie, how are you? If you follow me on any other platform, y'all, this little low country girl, like, I've done a lot of things in my life, and I don't say no to a lot of adventures or experiences, but I will tell you, our last night, you know, we stayed over. We slept on the beach in a strange place, and I'm going to talk to you about that. But yesterday was the first day was about team building and mindset, and it was so amazing. Yesterday was about adventure. And so yesterday we left here not knowing where we're going. Now, I'm okay not knowing where I'm going. I do like to know a little bit. So I just had to kind of say, you know what, Lynn? They're not going to put yourself in danger. Like, these people love me. I've known them for 3 years. Okay, they're not like my husband and they are my family. They're my family. I knew they would not put me in harm's way.
Though the weird thing about this, and maybe it's not, maybe I'm picking up too much on it. The qualification that's going on before she's about to tell us a story, like, oh, they would never put me in danger. They're like my family. I've known them for 3 years. Someone who I've known this long would never do anything bad to me. And that makes my ears perk up and say, like, okay. And yeah, we've heard Jessie Lee's on this. We've heard Courtney. We've heard Rendy. We've heard a lot of the other people, which I feel like makes this story even more diabolical is too strong of a word, but she's so well spoken that I think that people would believe her that it wasn't that bad. And I don't believe that, I guess. So, oh my God. Play.
Hey, Julie. But y'all, we got on this bus that carried all of us. It was like a 20-passenger van, packed like sardines. I'm almost in the very back. I'm not claustrophobic, so none of that messed with my mind. What I will tell you is, so many people, out of 16 people, so many people were claustrophobic. So many people were tall and were eating their knees on the way. So you know what? Everything in life can be a burden if you allow it to be a burden. So they overcame those things. We drove for about 40 minutes and we just got dropped off in the middle of Colombia, nowhere, long streets, deserted streets. And I'm going to give you the gist of that, and then as I do my lives when I get back home, I'm going to break them down because there's a lot of things that I learned from what we did yesterday that were life lessons to me. And so I've journaled them today because I know that if they're life lessons to me, even though you didn't experience it, I can talk about it and it can be your life lesson of overcoming fear or holding yourself back for something. It has...
No, thank you.
No, thanks. This is not a life lesson I want to learn. And again, it's weird because it's like desensitizing people to listening to their gut and listening to themselves be able to say, this is a red flag, this is dangerous, I'm not going to do it, because she's going to say, this was all something that we could have learned. Well, okay, lesson number 1, Jessie Lee, the -- network marketer in the world, couldn't rent 2 vans because we don't know why. So then they had to make a lesson out of that. I mean, if you're crushing 16 people in a van, like, you could have rented 2 cars, okay? And they're all trying to grab lessons from this. Courtney tried to do it. She's trying to do it. And it's like, you don't need to grab lessons from everything, in my opinion. Maybe people do. I don't know what you think about that, but it's
just the justification of like an incredibly toxic situation. But like you're saying, you want to ignore the red flags. You want to pretend like this is totally normal. Like whenever you end up in a really like screwed up situation and you're like, it's fine, everything's fine. Like I just think of that meme with the burning house and the guy's like, everything's good here. That's the situation they're in. They're just like, yeah, that was really messed up, but you know what? It's fine. I learned 100 lessons. So like, moving on. Jen saying in the comments, yeah, not everything is a lesson. I 100% agree.
Yep. And it was hard to separate that because when I was in multi-level marketing, it felt like that. It felt like everything was like a sign or had to be made into like something purposeful and like
divine timing.
Yes. Holy shit. For sure. And it's like, no. And sometimes these lessons that they're saying that we need to learn from were mistakes in judgment on their part that they could have done. And they're saying, oh, I don't want to take responsibility for that. So we're all just going to learn a lesson from this. No, we could have rented 2 cars and you didn't have to crush people who are too tall to sit in the back. Because it's not like, I mean, the reality situation, if you're 6'5" plus, like my husband's quite tall, on the plane, his knees like go 3 or 4 inches into the back of the seat, and literally the person in front of him can't go back because it's impossible. So it's like, it's not, there's realities and actual things that are.
Well, the people in front of him just need to learn the lesson in having to sit upright for 7 hours.
Oh, for sure. I mean, or even he needs to learn to like, ignore, something crushing into his knees, or like, that's the kind of weird stuff. I say weird. The strange psychology that they push on you on this team specifically. I know they do it in other multi-level marketing
justify
companies.
Everything.
Yep. Hey, Aaron, what's up? We've had a little bit of a rough start because of me, technical difficulties, but we're here. So, alrighty, let's go. Press play.
Nothing to do with my business, just life in general and you being the better person. And who is that? Who is that person that you are? And who is that person that you really want to be? It has nothing to do with status. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to be, nothing to do with prestige. But who is that person? Do you want to be kinder? Do you want to be more giving? Do you want to be more positive? Who is that person that you want to be? Not the person like, I want to be like Sally. I want to be like John. Not that. Who is that inner person, your better self that you want to be? We all have that. We all want to be better in some way. However, in my life, I have a lot of mentors. And so I love having those mentors. Thank you for sharing me out. I appreciate that. We have a lot of mentors in life that we don't want to be like them, but we love their qualities. And we want to have those qualities and inherit those qualities like some of our mentors, and that is okay. So who is that better self of yours? So they dropped us out in the middle of nowhere. We started hiking. We hiked about 3 miles, y'all. It was hot, over 100 degrees, hot, backpack full. I had 3 liters of water so that I would not be dehydrated. Lots of that. Heavy. Lots of people had to stop. 2 people had to stop, and we had to wait over an hour. So it kind of slowed down.
Shocking that you have to wait for someone who was overheating and who was having a blood sugar spike or drop. Oh my God, the horror of that. And give me a break.
But was it a hike or was it a walk?
Yeah, apparently everybody on the team before they got the memo said it was a hike, but then when, Jessie Lee is backpedaling, it's a walk. And, Sasha Mateo said that, whatever they did in Colombia would have been an insult to the Swiss Alps because there was no incline, there was no nothing. It was just, literally a walk in the park. And it's like, I don't think that's exactly what happened. I don't.
Clown Pound saying, I love how she didn't mention why they had to stop.
Yep. She just glanced. And again,
It was
even
just an hour-long
sneakier.
break.
Yeah. It's so sneaky because she's so well-spoken, in my opinion. She's describing things. And if you listen to her first, I think that Jessie Lee's telling her stuff would have sounded shocking. But we listened to Jessie Lee first. At least 100%. I did. Yeah. And so this is it's a little interesting.
Down our time of getting to where we were going. We went to this beautiful bird sanctuary. But, people didn't have their bodies in shape. And there were people that were exhausted from the heat. There was people that could not walk that distance.
You know how much hotter it can be if you're on a blacktop on like a tarred road? The sun, beaming down and then bouncing back up. So when I was playing tennis growing up, the court heat was significantly different than off-court heat because I don't know, the reflection or it just was hotter. And I can't imagine it being on the blacktop and how much hotter it was for them walking and then saying, oh, they were just overheated. Okay.
I was also thinking too, and I mentioned this in my video, I'm located in Canada and geographically speaking, it's colder. So
Sure.
people, I don't know where the people on this team are from, but what if they're acclimated to a much colder climate and then they're thrown into Colombia and she said it's plus 100 degrees.
Yep.
I would be dying.
Yep. Exactly. I think one of them was from Switzerland. Some of them were from Germany. Some of them were from colder states here in the United States. So it's still significantly colder. It's still winter time.
It's winter. Exactly.
Yep. So,
oh my God. I couldn't walk 2 hours if it all of a sudden was 40 degrees. I assume that's 100.
Yeah.
In the middle of the sun.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yep. And she was saying, Jessie Lee Ward said, I told him to go to the gym 90 days before it started. Well, if they're in winter, 90 days before the trip in January, which is December, November, October, which is still getting colder. So they'd probably have to be working out in a gym or outside if they're in the colder areas. That wouldn't have helped them at all to acclimate to any kind of heat because several of them came from colder areas.
Exactly. Unless you're going to put your treadmill in the sauna.
Yep. Yeah, it's just wild. The way that Jessie Lee tried to backpedal and say I warned them. No, you didn't. You tricked them. And then you tried to make excuses, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Because they had not taken care of their bodies. They're not moving their bodies every day. We got to the bird sanctuary. After that, we walked down to the ocean. We went up this beautiful rock, supposed to see a cave. We could not see a cave yesterday because of the high tide. But after that, we came back down and we just walked on the beach. It was really nice because the day before we saw familiar things. And although we did not know where we were going, now my roommate for the rig, she said from the beginning, I think we're going overnight. And so when she said that, I said, I'm packing my scope, I'm packing my toothpaste, I'm packing my deodorant, packing more clothes. That's my friend Jamie.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yep.
Me and Fox.
Yep. And so anyway, we walked down the beach and we saw familiar landscapes that we had seen the day before, which was really cool. And being in a different country and unfamiliar places, that was really nice. I'm like, oh, we've been here before. And then we waited for a little while. Y'all, we grilled out last night over firewood. And I can't wait to tell you the details about the meal. I can't wait to tell you about the details about the plates, because they're not plates like you and I eat off of.
Oh my God.
And then we ended up staying there. And then we swam with plankton. We got on a boat.
She
Probably at
is the
midnight.
type of person that sees the positive in everything. And if some people were thinking of, just like, oh my gosh, this sounds like an incredible trip. And it's like, I think you missed describing some vitally important details, ma'am. Just me.
They fed us food on leaves from the tree, and it was the best thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
God, man, this is interesting to listen to so many different retellings of this story. And yes, why are they all so obsessed with the fucking banana leaf plates? Nobody knows. Oh my God.
If anyone figures it out, please enlighten me.
Yeah, tell us in the comments, or tell us in Danielle's comments, because we would love some enlightenment. Just a little bit, not too much.
And drove, I don't know, several miles on a boat, and we jumped in the water, and it lights up. It is plankton that lights up, and our whole bodies look like sparkles from the plankton. Yes, it is. If you swam with plankton before, it was really cool. Kind of freaky, but it was really cool.
Kind of freaky, but really cool.
And then we came back, and they said, this is where we're sleeping tonight. Now, there's a lot of things. It was unfamiliar people. It was unfamiliar place. I'm in a new country. I'm with 16 people that I know that we love each other and we're going to protect each other. But we were sleeping out in the open. And we had 2 watchmen that watched us all night. They literally stood in front of our places and our open air hotel room. We slept on lawn chairs, and they watched us all night. I got up to use the restroom at one point, and I came back, and he was like standing right in front of my bed until I laid back down. So I felt very protected.
Again, this is confirmation that, and again, no, I do not want someone watching this to get any ideas that I'm shading Colombia at all. I'm not. I'm saying that be wise when you're going and visiting another country. Be aware of things. Same if you're coming to the United States. Be aware, or Canada or whatever. So like be respectful, be aware of the potential things to look out for, maybe areas that are better to avoid. I would say that just deciding to sleep outside to make your team learn a lesson maybe is risky. And again, I'm trying to say this as carefully as I can. I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, there's better countries than other countries. No, I'm just saying be smart. And it seemed like Jessie Lee was fine risking the safety of her team to teach them a lesson. And 2 people watching out for 16, I don't think that that's enough people to do that. And I don't know. I just have lots of like, I wouldn't have done any of it like this.
Well, and in her stream, I can't quote her verbatim. I'd have to go watch it again, but she says something in the second video, something along the lines of, well, yeah, it could have been really dangerous, but everyone survived, so it's fine, in terms of the like sleeping part in particular. And it's like,
Yep.
That to me signals that she is fully aware that it was an incredibly unsafe situation. They just got lucky.
Yep. I think they got incredibly lucky. And again, I want to continue, and it may sound like I'm just repeating the same thing over and over again. Absolutely no shade to Colombia. I'm saying that every country has something that maybe you'd want to educate yourself on if you're traveling there. And I think that it would be wild doing that here in the United States. I think that it would be wild to sleep outside with no provisions or tents or protection. Like, especially here, we're backed up to a forest preserve and there's wild boar here. I wouldn't do it. So like, they're not aware of the wildlife potentially. They're not aware of potentially like situations to avoid. I know that the travel advisories sometimes are political, but they're informational and for people who are traveling to other countries. And so high travel advisories just take into consideration. And it didn't seem, and like you said, Danielle, that Jessie Lee did not seem to take that into consideration, because she tried to say enough to like defend her position in the second video. And you're right. I think she was aware, and it was just not not a good thing.
Then this morning we came home.
Yes,
and we've
exactly,
had some self-care
Clown Town.
today. We've had, I got a deep tissue massage and a face massage, and it was wonderful. We're getting ready to do a mastermind. Each of those things that we did yesterday, I'm going to break those down because you have got to hear the golden nuggets that I learned yesterday about Lynn Adcox. And y'all, I'm a positive person. I love to do great things, and I love to grow, and I love to teach my family to do the same. But I cannot wait to share with you. We leave tomorrow afternoon to leave Colombia to come back home, and I'm really excited about coming back home. I love my family, miss my family. But if you've ever traveled to Colombia, let me know. We've seen the sunrise, we've seen the sunset. It has been amazing, and so many people. I'm the oldest, 51. So many people have had so many breakthroughs, and I can't wait to share with you. Let me see if I have it. Let me see if I have one thing to share with you. Hey, Ralph Watson. So yesterday, you know, we went to that place. You knew that we were going to a different place. And as that boat ride, and we swam with the plankton, I just laid on my back and just looked at the skies, looked at the stars. But y'all, yesterday, my scripture yesterday was Psalms 8. It said, when I look at your skies, at what your fingers have made, the moons and the stars, what humans that you pay attention, what are human beings that you pay attention to them? It just means to say that we need to really hone in on what God has created. All of the beautiful things, all of the small things. This morning in that place that I was a little bit nervous, I was excited about the adventure. I was nervous about staying. This morning, my devotion was called A Special Place, and it was Philippians 4, the peace of God, which passeth all understanding. Okay, you know that scripture. It's talking about needing that quiet place, because last night when I laid in that bed and my surroundings were different, and I didn't have my husband with me, and we weren't locked in.
Okay, again, no disrespect to some people who are religious or believe in God or believe in something in the chat. Here's the issue. She's talking and trying to say how safe she was because she's reading these Bible verses, and it's like, no. You cannot like affirm or make it seem like it was okay. It's just luck. It's not like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's the way that she's bringing scripture in to prove like that she had nothing to worry about in the first place. It is disingenuous. It's like, it's also potentially dangerous for other people because they're going to say, oh, I can go into any situation and God's going to protect me. And it's like, even when people are taking precautions, awful things can happen because there's awful people in the world. You know, this is twisty.
I think it ties back into what you were talking about earlier in terms of just the general manipulation we see in MLMs, where you're convinced that everything that happens, I didn't make any sales this month. Oh, it's because, the universe or God or whoever is waiting to, bring me my bounty next month. And It's a similar situation. It's like, okay, this thing happened and now I need an excuse as to why it happened. So whether I'm pulling that from the Bible or I'm pulling it from my belief in whatever, they're just kind of like integrating it all together. It's really, really dangerous, I think, to be in that position where you're just trying to excuse any negative thing that happens to you as, the will of God or the universe or whoever.
Yep, I agree.
In this beautiful home that we've been staying in all week, I had a lot of self-thought. Where God has me, where God's taken me, what I have that I love about myself, my self-talk, being positive, my faith, how and where do I want that to grow? And just clearing my head and finding direction and peace in my life. Y'all, everybody needs to find direction and peace. So I can't wait to share all of these things with you. Hey, Sharon. Hey, Mark. Hey, Amy. I'm so glad you're here. Please share me out. But I'm going to do some lives when I get home so that you can hear some details and see some pictures about what this experience has been. I would have never done it had I not taken this opportunity with my business 3 years ago. So I do love working. I do love what I do. I get to change lives every day. But the amount of amazing growth that I've had since Monday, and I've been with most of these people before, has been absolutely amazing. And so I love the business personally. but this opportunity that I worked hard and that I earned this trip to come on, y'all, it has brought me personally so much growth that I can go back and share with my friends and share with people that watch me on social media and share with my family. And I cannot wait for that. So I hope that, hey, Pat, hey, Noreen, hey, Jackie, I hope that y'all doing well. I have got to go. I have got a mastermind in 7 minutes, and I've got to walk downstairs and grab a few more things before I go. So until I see you again, my friends, God bless you. Have a good night. Hey, Jackie, listen, okay, I'm gonna have to text you when I do go live, but you'll have to watch it because we have had the most amazing adventure. Last night, swimming with plankton. They light up the brackish
Not all
water.
plankton too, but
and it was crazy, really cool. But anyways, I can't wait to share that with you as well. So y'all keep watching my stories. I don't have a really good service here, so I've kind of had to post hit or miss. But anyways, I'm going to a mastermind for the rest of the evening. I love y'all, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you.
Okay. Well, what the hell?
Join my MLM.
Yes.
Yes.
Would you, if you found out, like, let's say you watch that, Danielle, and you're like, oh my gosh, what an incredible opportunity. Prove it is. Holy shit, I want to sign up. And then you find out what actually happened on that trip. You're telling me you would not be pissed? That's like, you left all the important details out. Someone getting overheated, someone having potentially a diabetic episode, someone walking 8, I don't even know how many miles, but over probably 15 hours of walking. And like basically the people who didn't ask strategic questions, they get screwed on having enough water for the trip. You know, you left out, it's one thing to be positive. It's another thing to lie by omission because you're trying to be so positive that people can't make an informed decision because they didn't have all the information. So, it's just shitty. I'm going to put
I don't understand it though, because then I'm also like, okay, so she tells this story in like the perfectly painted way. And I understand that her video was from like prior to all of this stuff kind of coming out.
Yep.
But to me, it's just like, okay, so then I see that video. I'm like, wow, this sounds awesome. I'm going to join. I Google for 2 seconds. And what am I going to see? All of our content and be like, this lady's a liar.
Yeah. You'd think so. You'd certainly think so. Oh my gosh. I'm going to try to pull this up really quickly because I'm trying to play it on faster speed. Let me see if I can put this in another. Continue. No.
What do the masterminds entail? Just JLW yelling for an hour?
Yeah, and also yelling at you for being too fat and being not
trying hard enough.
Yeah, you know, not having all the right thoughts about I don't want to share tab audio. I want to window. Is it that one? Let me open something in QuickTime and see if I can play it faster through that. Sorry, I'm like trying to figure this out because let's see. There's a longer one that she made after she came home where she mentioned lots of stuff. And I think Clowntown, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't she the one that said they didn't sign waivers? I don't know if Clowntown's still here, but let me go ahead and pull this up.
My whole thing with the waivers argument, and again, I've said this in other videos, but it's like, how do I consent to anything if I don't know what's happening? Even if I signed a waiver, I feel like it wouldn't be valid because I didn't do what you told me we were going to do.
Yep. Yeah, and again, I know I've talked to people too, and even I don't know if this is actually like criminal behavior, but you cannot waive criminal behavior. You cannot waive, like, let's say you make someone sign an NDA that's covering a criminal act that was done against you. It doesn't hold up in court because you don't get to cover up wrongdoing like that. Okay, here we go. I think share.
Yeah, Lisa's saying they did sign waivers, but my point is, like, whatever the waivers said aren't going to cover what they did because they didn't know. So
Yep.
I can't consent to something that I don't understand fully.
Yeah. Let's we'll put her below and let me make this a little bit bigger. All right. I don't know if I have the right output on, so if you don't hear any sound, let me... Wait, how do I... Playback speed, 1.5.
All right, I think I am.
Can you hear her?
Live on,
It's pretty quiet.
Okay, I'm going to turn her up on my board. Let's see.
Forms now. Sometimes it takes us.
Why can't I hear?
a minute to do that. So hey Janelle, how are you?
Is it still quiet?
I'm just going
Yeah.
to share with you just for a few minutes.
Okay, let me try to put her through the sound differently. Remove.
Everyone put a 1 in the chat if you're having so much fun and you love it.
Oh my god.
Fire emoji,
Yep.
fire emoji.
Yes, exactly. All the emojis, all the numbers, all of the... You know, I initially back in the day when I used to like Jessie Lee Ward, I was like, maybe they actually have a number system where they go back and they know like, hey, I'm saying a 7, so I know to reach out to the person like this, or maybe the person doing I naively thought they had a freaking plan, and they don't. They're just getting it for engagement. And I'm like,
That's so stupid.
oh, I was like, what the hell? Okay, so I think I can make this louder this way.
All right, I think I am.
Is that better?
I think
Yeah.
I am live on all the platforms now. Sometimes it takes us a minute to do that. So hey Janelle, how are you? I'm just going to share with you just for a few minutes tonight. I'm not going to be on. I have set new standards and new boundaries, and I'm going to go to bed early. So
Yeah, because they all have
Hangers.
behavior control. Now that they've come back from this trip, they're eating differently. They're working out differently. They're all doing push-ups and planks every day. They're sleeping differently. They went on this trip to Colombia, and they let Jessie Lee Ward into every single part of their life. And again, she has access to these people because Brian Underwood will not do anything to hold his people accountable at all because they make him money. He looks like a fool, in my opinion. His behavior.
It's like, from his perspective, he's now in this position where either way, because he's let it drag on so long, I feel like
Yep.
for him, he's pretty much done.
Yeah, and so it's like he's stuck. He's stuck with the people, and it's disappointing. It's for sure disappointing.
going crazy. So anyway, hello everybody. As you're hopping on, let me know in the comments if you are on a platform and you can see the red live button in the corner. That is for Facebook. If you're watching me live, say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from, whatever platform that you are. And
For the love of God, just start your video. Oh my! And again, as
Hi,
nice as,
Susie.
like,
Hi, Amanda. Hi, Jenny.
I mean, I do that too, but it's like at least give them something to watch before this, because it's like we've got to skip so far
if
ahead.
you're watching me on the replay, if you'll just put a 2, and
Oh my
that
God.
way, and comment again where you're coming from, because I do love to know just how far my videos get.
And let me know what you ate for dinner and the
Get
name of your
shared
first
out
going
and
filed.
reached. So
Yeah, your whole medical history, and why don't you throw your social security number in the chat as well? You know, it's like, what piece of information is off limits? Like, good God. Oh, my Lanta.
for those of you that do not know me, I am so glad you're here.
And again, she's so cute and so nice. I'm just like the influence that Jessie Lee Ward has had on her, and she seems so kind. She seems so lovely,
Like
and
genuine.
it's just and genuine. And the tactics that Jessie Lee Ward has shared with her whole team to use, it's just an eye roll of a lifetime. So no shade to her.
My name is Lynn Adcox, and I'm from the low country of South Carolina, about 40 minutes from Charleston. Hey, Craig. Hey, Luke. How are ya? Byron. So, listen,
Good night, Janet.
Friend, I would say a friend, because once I meet you, you're my friend. I met him in line, trying to leave. We were both trying to leave Colombia. His flight left a lot. Did you make your flight? We were talking. His phone died, y'all. It is amazing when you are just kind and you just share a smile. The people that you can meet in line.
That's-
And
My mom is like this, and she literally is not a outgoing person. I mean, she's kind of outgoing, but she will find out not because she's trying to, but people's whole history, and like they will just start talking to her, and like this lady's the same way. It's like people want to talk to her because she's so, you know, nice and personable, and you know, it's just
You need to let me know if you're still on here. You need to let me know if you made your flight. His flight was leaving. We're trying to get through immigration. It was crazy. So you let me know that. You're from Tuscany. That's right. You did make it. Oh, wow. That was crazy. You had to have run. Your brother called, and I told him, I answered the phone. Y'all, that was crazy. I'll tell you that story in just a minute. So my name is Lynn Adcox, and I am... I'm a business owner in network marketing.
she has
There it
notes.
is.
It's so cute. I just, you know, it's just so different than Jessie Lee Ward and her. Like, I can appreciate some notes, but it's like, just get to the point. If you're doing a live, just be like, hey, I'm talking about this because at least on Instagram, when someone first pops in, it captures the first like few seconds of what you're saying, and if you're not saying anything and then you're like, I'm just gonna wait for a few people to pop on. No, don't wait for anyone to pop on. Just talk. Just talk. Good God.
And I love to help busy moms and dads, entrepreneurs, make money from their phone. That's what I do. And I will tell you, 3 years ago when I started this business, I was not looking to start this business. I was totally not wanting a business to start. But anyway, it's been...
They all say this. They all say I was not looking for a business. And it's like, well, how did... You all got one. You all got one. Then you got stuck on a trip with Jessie Lee Ward. And
How did we get here?
We don't know. It is a strange journey. It feels like a strange journey because she is probably someone I would never have expected to be on Jessie Lee Ward's team. And
Yeah, like who found you and where did they find you?
yeah, who recruited you? Gosh.
Been such a blessing. And the last 5 days is what I want to talk about. The last 5 days, I just got back yesterday. I spent 5 days in Colombia, South America. So let me know, Colombia. We have a Colombia, South Carolina. This was Colombia, South America.
I'm from
So
Canada,
let me know
North
in the
America,
comments,
just
do you
if
like
anyone wanted to know.
Oh my God.
travel? Yes or no? Y'all talk to me in the comments. Do you like to travel? I love to travel. I've always loved to travel.
I can see why people like to talk to her in the live chat because she a little bit slow of a start, but like the energy, how nice she is, I can give her that. I feel like this is even more insidious than the abruptness and the brashness of Jessie Lee Ward because she's so kind, and then she's going to tell you how incredible the experience was on the Colombia trip.
And you're more inclined to believe her over Jessie Lee's screaming.
Yep, and you're going to get sucked in from this. Yep.
Exactly.
I've been blessed with my family growing up that our parents took us a lot of places. I went to a lot of states. My dad didn't like to fly, but we traveled and we drove. And y'all, I don't even know how many states that I went to before I ever got married. And then I met my husband who loves to travel. We've taken our kids to so many states, so many countries, that I keep reminding them the blessings that they have already seen so much of the world. We
Sure.
love to give experiences versus things. I don't know about you. Let me know if you're a parent in the comment. Put parent. I will tell you, it's much more to keep those experiences in your heart than you give them a toy.
It's like Shade City, but then you can't because she's so nice. It's like
Exactly.
It's just
And she's just doing like what she was taught by her upline. So
yeah,
like,
Jessie Lee Ward. Jessie Lee Ward's taught him how to do all this, and it's like her social media strategy. And I know that I maybe you've mentioned it on some of your videos, but you talk about that. You talk at least you help businesses on your channel too, and just some of the social media tips that Jessie Lee Ward gives her downline are. I don't know how to describe it. It's like taking a chainsaw to cut a piece of cheese.
Garbage.
It's like the wrong tool to cut the wrong item a lot of times. It's wild. It's like,
very
oh my
it very
God.
much fits into that like aggressive like spammy sort of like when I think of an MLM,
Yep.
I think of like aggressive spam, and I feel like that's essentially the tactics and techniques that a lot of them teach their teams
Yep.
in terms of like how to show up on social media. Like just spam the shit out of everyone until they can't say no to you anymore.
Yep. And if you don't know what you're doing, make sure that it's kind of like a train wreck on live stream, so they can't look away until you figure out what the hell you're doing. It's just
Exactly.
like you could get an expert to help them out, and you're just so set that your way is the right way, and it's like this is I don't know, what is this, 2006, or like this is old kind of like thinking of, in my opinion. It's
100%.
just, I feel bad for her.
Or something that it might not work in a year, a month, 2 years. They get rid of
A year,
it.
a
So
month,
those
2
experiences
years.
are forever in your heart. So
God.
let me know in the comments if you love to travel. I do. I spent the last 5 days.
Comment
it
travel.
was not a company trip. It was a team trip. And so you have.
I mean, that's loose. A team trip is a loose definition of what the hell happening on that trip with Jessie Lee Ward.
I thought it wasn't affiliated.
Yes, you're good point. I know she did that on purpose because I screwed up the stream. But yes, Danielle is next level branding expert because we match, and that's all from her. She changed her lighting to match my shit show over here. So, oh my God. So Jessie Lee Ward paid for everything for the trip, so I could imagine that no one felt comfortable saying that they didn't want to do something because they all earned it. That not everyone had access to it. And then Jessie Lee Ward mentioned over and over and over and over again, they didn't have to pay for anything. They didn't have to pay for this. I was paying for everything. And it's like, so they couldn't say no? That's what it sounds like to me, what you're saying. Because I know some people are like that. They're like, well, I'm paying for this. You have to do it. Well, I'm paying for it. Like, aren't you grateful? And it's just it's kind of a unhealthy perspective. You know, if you're going to give a gift, just give it and don't expect anything in return.
And don't dictate how I'm going to use the gift that you gave me.
Yep.
Had to earn this trip. And I'm in network marketing. I don't know if many of you know Jessie Lee Ward. She is the #1 female network marketer in the world.
Oh,
she is kind. She is loving. She is dear. She is
That's new.
disciplined. And
She definitely qualified the hell out of that statement. #1 female network marketer in the world. So, I mean, tell us the details, Lynn. Oh my God. She'd be so mad if she heard this because she hates when people call her a boss babe or a female business owner. She hates it. She thinks it's so derogatory. Oh my God.
And so we went on this trip. There was 16 of us that went. We were from all nationalities, all backgrounds,
Not all.
mindsets,
Not all.
body compositions.
Rude.
We were just all so different. When we left after 5 days,
We're all the
we
same.
were all so aligned.
Oh
Thank
my
you for
God.
sharing. We were all
Brainwash
so
City.
aligned that
We're also different, and then we went through the cookie cutter in, the pressure test of getting trapped on a hike that we couldn't leave, and then we're all so aligned. How convenient, Jessie Lee Ward. How freaking convenient.
One of us.
Oh my God. And again, I listened to part of this, and it's like some of the stuff she's saying is so subtle, but it like reiterates and supports what Jessie Lee told us and what Courtney has told us and what the other people have told us. It's like we were so different, and then we were so the same. And it's like, I don't think that's how actual team building is supposed to work.
No.
This isn't the Borg Collective. This is, it's supposed to be like an independent contractor trip. You're not supposed to come out all being clones of the same person. But here we are.
I can't even explain to you. Like these 16 people will be in my heart forever.
Oh God.
Because of the experiences that we had in 5 short days.
The trauma bond.
I think 5 of them I had never met before. Some of them I met online. Most of them I had met in person a few times. Hadn't had face-to-face contact or that much contact, and just heartfelt conversations with all of them. but in 5 days I did with everyone. I was very intentional about having those heart-to-heart conversations with each person that was there. And I got to check everybody off the list. The most beautiful 16 people that I've ever spent 5 days with.
She's so nice.
So what I will tell you
I
is...
say that maybe her perspective is skewed, but I mean, because I would disagree that Jessie Lee treated them well. I would disagree that Sasha and Mateo treated them well. In listening to, you know, how kind this lady is and how awful Jessie Lee talked about the people who went on this trip is disrespectful to the people who actually put their trust in her, in my opinion, because this lady seems nice. She seems like a good person who, it maybe, and again, she's got sucked in to prove it, but it's like she is singing the praises of Jessie Lee, and Jessie Lee was just looking to break people down, to try to find the losers on her team. It's just...
Exactly. I'm having a hard time like watching this only because it's like I feel like I'm watching a video of my grandma, just like so sweet,
Yeah.
so innocent, and then I'm just like knowing the reality or like what we've seen elsewhere. I'm just like, what is happening?
Yeah, there's definitely a discrepancy for sure.
I did this because of my business, of my online business.
Hi, Rachel. Have a good night.
We spent 5 days in Colombia, and I'm going to talk about in my lives this week, I'm going to talk about each of those 3 days, the main 3 days of our trip, what I did leading up to that. I'm going to do that. So make sure that you are following me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, because I will talk about that. But tonight, I want to tell you, now that I'm home, now that I'm grounded, I was supposed to be home day before yesterday. I got home yesterday. 7 of us we got delayed, and we had to spend one more night over in Miami, which, you know, it wasn't a big deal. It was another night that I got to spend just heartfelt with amazing people.
She's...
But I
no
wanted to talk about...
no situation is bad. I'm reframing the hell out of everything. You know, it's like, okay, some situations are bad, and that's great that you have a positive outlook. I'm not trying to shit on people who think positively. I'm saying that at the expense or of your safety and ignoring red flags, I would say that thinking positively could be potentially dangerous for you, or maybe put you at a disadvantage in some situations if you're being told you have to think positive. You have to think positive. Uh-oh. I think... Okay, my mouse is back, sorry.
What I am taking from those 10 days, because to give you one in a nutshell, I knew it was an earned trip with my team, 16 of us going to Colombia. It was a vacation, but it was we got
not.
mastermind with Jessie Lee. We had a boot camp with Jessie Lee and our guys. It was one of those team building weekends where they broke us all down only to build us back up.
Oh my God.
Take a drink every time we hear the undue influence pop into the chat. Again, here's the thing. I know not everyone's a fan of body language stuff, but I've watched a ton of her lives at this point. She's very well spoken, incredible. The way that she's taking these long pauses because she's trying to reframe what happened on the trip is telling to me, because it differs from what she normally does. She normally doesn't, there's not long pauses. She's like going in the flow and stuff. And then for all those things, like they broke us down and it's like, tell us what you really felt. I mean, holy shit. Oh my God. And I feel so bad. Like, I feel protective over her. It's like, I can't believe that Jessie Lee and Sasha and Mateo had basically free reign to treat these people like shit.
However they wanted.
However they wanted, and they're all grateful for it.
We'll just buy you a massage. That'll make up for it.
Yeah. So it makes me so upset.
Broke us all down. Lynn Adcox, what I will tell you is, Lynn Adcox really found her soul again.
Oh God, we're talking about myself in the third person.
Who I am and exactly where I want to go. I now have a true vision
Oh,
and I'm a
God.
very faithful person. I have a vision with God.
What?
But with my faith life, with my family life, with my business life, with everything that I do, I now have a vision of my future. And discipline is a very
Pause.
important word in that. I was disciplined. I want to talk about the word discipline because
Here's what happened on the trip. They were told that they were not disciplined enough. They were told they weren't eating the right way. They were told they were not having the right mindset. And because their bodies weren't in prime shape and their thoughts were not primed and their discipline was off, that their business was suffering or that it wasn't ever going to be able to get to that top tier level. And it's like,
Next level self, next level
Yeah.
business.
oh my God. This makes me so sad
Painful.
for her. Gosh. And her faith was manipulated too, because I'm sure that Jessie Lee and Jessie Lee brought this up. It's like, what do you want people to say at your funeral? What kind of life do you want to live? And people who are committed to their faith are like, I want to do that. I know like people like her. It's like they want to do right by everyone. They want to bring their best to the table. And so she's giving her best to Jessie Lee, and Jessie Lee's just making a shit ton of money off of her and treating her
And
like
telling her
crap.
that her best isn't good enough. You know, you're trying, but you're not trying enough. And here are all your flaws, but I'm going to be the one to tell you like how to do it better.
Yep. It's just so twisty, and I wish she would get out, but I don't think that. Sometimes it's like, you never think that any of these people are going to get out, and it's just, it's so sad.
I'm reading this book, Discipline is Destiny.
Oh
We're
God.
getting ready to do a book club about it. So if you are on my team, that is a checklist. Make sure that you have that book. I have finished it. I listened to it, but I'm going to hear it. I'm going to read it again. And it is by Ryan. Somebody asked me who the author. Ryan Holiday. Discipline is destiny. It is key. Okay. So what I want to say is, where are you in your area of discipline? I am disciplined in some areas. I was not disciplined in all areas. And what I will say is this: what you do in one part of your life reflects what you do in all areas of your life.
No,
It is
false.
true.
False,
I have written
false,
it out.
false.
I have
False. People who say stuff like this is because they're trying, in my opinion, trying to get control or trying to control thinking and saying like, oh, if I have a negative thought about this area, then it's going to contaminate all other areas. If I don't have the perfect relationship, then it's going to somehow make every other area in my life. It's that life worse. It's that all or nothing mentality. And it's like, no, everything, in my opinion, is separate. Now, sometimes your character can show up in some stuff, and it's like, yeah, take responsibility for that shit. But her saying like, oh, if I'm not disciplined in every area, then it somehow means I love people less, or somehow means I'm a worse person. It's like, hell no, that's twisty thinking. That's kind of that undue influence, kind of that high control group kind of thinking, in my opinion.
Definitely, because who has the capacity to give 100% in absolutely everything? It's setting unrealistic expectations for these people to
Yep.
live up to Jessie Lee's impossible standard. Like,
Yep.
I don't have the energy to give 100% to my business, my relationships, my health, my whatever. Like, it's never gonna happen.
Yep. And I think that Jessie Lee has a strong, or like she is having a super selling moment right now because she's finally lost the weight that she has been wanting to lose for years and years. And I'm not body shaming her. I'm saying she's like, when I got my mind right, then I hit legend, or then I hit the top rank in the company, and I got my multi-million-dollar apartment, which she didn't buy. She's renting, and again, it's wild because she said she was going to buy it. And then she said that she is renting it. And I know that doesn't seem like a big deal to people in the chat, but it's that continued hypocrisy and that deception that she does use in every part of her life. She did it on this trip with these people. She said, I tricked them on purpose because I wanted to weed out and find the losers on my team. Excuse me? Ma'am, bold of you to say that, that's for sure. And so she's saying, like, I got disciplined in every part of my life. I spent $11,000 on all my injections or on all my blood tests so I can get all my injections and everything. And now, like, I look like a model. I live in a beautiful place. I have a perfect relationship. I have all the money I could want, and you can have it too. And I think that's kind of the same type of, like, when I fix this, now you should fix your stuff too. So fix your bodies, fix your mindset, fix your blah, blah, blah. That's what I don't know.
But then how much of that is her like trying to, and this is just like my own thought, when she's spewing this towards her team, it's like how much of that is just her reflecting on her own insecurity of like, okay, you need to get healthy because I'm healthy. But then maybe subconsciously she's like, well, I'm not actually healthy. You know, I'm using these injections, whatever is true or not true. It's alleged, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I have my wealth in order, but then it's like, do I really? I don't know. And so some of it to me comes off as like overcompensation, or in the comments, someone's saying projection. I
Sure.
think that's part of it too, is like her own insecurities she then uses as like a power move on other people. But in reality, those are things that she still struggles with.
Yeah. And again, is it Coelia? She said, they said, I don't think it's really about appearance, though. I think it's about behavior. I think it's about behavior, too. I'm saying from the history of, like, what Jessie Lee has said in her videos, and I'll make sure to give the unlisted link for everyone in the live chat who hasn't seen Jessie Lee and her talking about the trip to Colombia. She specifically said about these people that she was so disappointed that they had not been taking their health seriously, and why weren't they in the gym, and why weren't they committed to listening and following directions from the leader. And part of that was her judging them for their sizes. We heard Lynn bring up people different body sizes. We heard Courtney do the same thing, and others. So it's not trying to I'm not trying to bring body shaming into it. I think it's a big factor in how Jessie Lee perceives health and how she perceives her top 16 that she wants to highlight and platform on her team. But a big part of it is behavior too. So I think that's a good reminder as well. Oh, man.
Tried to think, oh, maybe not. It is. What you do in one part of your life is how
God.
you do in every
False.
part of your life. Janelle, that is amazing. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Wanda. Hey, Sari. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Donna. Hey, Serena. I hope that y'all are doing well. I don't travel much, but I would love to do it more often. Oh, well, let me tell you. My watch is talking to me now. Think about where you're disciplined and where you're not disciplined. So I have a discipline in like my morning routine, but sometimes not in all areas. I'm one of those people that go, oh, I love to plan, but I can do things fly by night. I can still do that, but I really need to be a little more disciplined in other areas of my life. And those are some things that I've already planned out my week of what I'm going to be working on. Discipline is not always going to bed at the same time. I would like to, but sometimes I let myself get distracted. And so those are things that I worked on my mind, on my heart, on my soul. We spent 5 days in Colombia. We had an amazing sun-filled day. Then we had a day that said, hey, and we had to fend for ourselves.
We had to fend for ourselves, even though our leader had all the information to make us or give us the ability to prepare correctly for a hard physical feat, but decided not to because she was trying to weed out the losers. Okay. I mean, you didn't have to fend for yourselves. Your leader left you to perish by yourselves, basically. And just the fact that everyone made it, that everyone was successful, I think Jessie Lee sees that as a win for her test that she gave her team. So
such a unique spin, this perspective. I mean, I'm learning so many new ways to describe horrible situations.
Yeah, it's wild. And again, I think like understanding the perspective that people on her team who like her have of this trip is eye-opening for me to see, because sometimes it's easier to be like, okay, maybe you're not a great communicator, maybe you're not able to articulate something, and she's doing a great job, and it's like, this is scary. It's a scary retelling of something that, what in my opinion was negligent on Jessie Lee's part, and potentially like could have hurt people permanently. So, oh my God.
We're going to be in the heat. We're going to be in the sun. We're going to be near water. So pack whatever you think you need. Okay. I had a backpack full of water. I had a backpack with sunscreen, a hat. I have a swimsuit on, my flip-flops, long sleeve in case the sun got too hot on me. The second day we were told, listen, we're going to be hiking. We're going to be doing some stuff. We'll probably go to the beach, whatever you need, but also take some long clothes. I packed water. I packed long clothes. I've said, you know what? I think I'm gonna pack a sweatshirt. I packed a sweatshirt. I packed an extra pair of socks, an extra pair of drawers. I packed so many things that I thought, okay, what do I need? This sounds like it's gonna be long term. And that was the day they dropped us in the middle of nowhere, and we walked 10 or 12 miles in the heat, in the sun.
Just 10 or 12, okay.
I work out every day, so I've never been so happy that I worked out. I've been having some knee issues. Guess what? I mean, I prayed about this, y'all. It never gave me problems.
I have knee issues. I work out every day, and I prayed, and so my knee was fine. I mean, that shame on Jessie Lee for not giving a shit about her team and their medical stuff that they're bringing into this hike. She didn't care about the person with diabetes. And again, we are hearing that people had some conditions that they came into this trip with, and it's like, okay, well, your commitment to the team is more important than your health. And I think that message was loud and clear across every single story that we've heard from the participants so far. Oh my God.
Problems whatsoever. And then we ended up walking. We ended up climbing this high rock, which was challenging for some, mindset and physical. And then we ended up walking the beach for another 5 miles or so. And then we were told, hey, we ate on the beach and we're spending the night here.
Oh my God.
12 miles, 5 miles. And then we're climbing a rock wall. What's happening?
Yeah. And again, like, I don't think Jessie Lee Ward is the person that's qualified to be able to set up these like physical challenges. There's no paramedic on duty. They backtracked and said, oh, well, we had these flags and all this other stuff, and we actually had a whole team. And it's like, I don't think that's the truth. That's just my opinion. I think they flew by the seat of their pants, and they just lucked out more than they've ever lucked out before.
100%.
Yeah,
I would agree.
I was like, okay, put my long pants on. And then before we did that, we went at midnight and drove probably 2 miles offshore and jumped in this black, brackish water, black water, and swam in plankton. Google it. Google swimming in plankton. You jumped in the water and the water lights up. It is the craziest thing. You just feel like you've got sparkles all over your body. And y'all look at the plankton and you can see why it stays in the water versus going out into the ocean. It's really cool. We've all learned about plankton in biology. Go look that up. And then we stayed. We slept in lawn chairs. New country, new surroundings, unfamiliar territories, unfamiliar people. This was 3 days in. I was like, you know what? I put my sweatshirt on. I have never had a sweatshirt on where I tucked now I know what those drawstrings are for. I had a drawstring and I had like a breathing hole because it got chilly. I was sleeping right on the water, but guess what I saw? I didn't see that I wasn't in my bed. I said, you know what? It's good. I'm good. My mindset was good. I talked kind to me. I talked loving thoughts to me. It was.
When you have to talk kind to yourself to compensate for the shitty way that someone with authority and power is treating you, that self-talk, like, I'm glad that she feels like the situation wasn't traumatic, but that's not a healthy way to walk out, like, positive the power of positive thinking or whatever, because she is compensating for Jessie Lee Ward's and Mateo and Sasha's awful behavior because she's such a positive person and she just so happened to not get injured on this trip and she happened to pack a freaking sweatshirt.
Toxic positivity. Cannot say anything negative or I will get shunned from the group.
Yeah. Oh man.
I cannot.
This is
Absolutely the most
wild.
amazing trip ever.
What?
Dale Adcox always makes sure that I have really nice sheets, a really comfy bed, comfy pillows, as many blankets as I need when we travel. This was not the case. However, it broke my mindset down. And I was cold. So guess what? I just bundled up. But there was no blankets. Nobody brought us blankets. And I put double socks on. I was fine.
Temperature is a
And
mindset. We
I
already learned that
prayed
from
for
Jessie Lee.
comfort, I prayed
Yep.
for safety. And guess what?
And you can control body processes with your mind too, because, overheating apparently isn't a thing. So just,
Exactly.
all the science you didn't know you needed to learn via Jessie Lee Ward and
Just
her
believe.
body. Yep, just
I
believe.
slept like a baby. But this was an earned trip with my team, not a company. This was not a company trip. In 11 days, I go to my company trip that I earned in the Bahamas with some people, amazing people. I will see most of these 14 in the Bahamas. I can't wait to hug their necks again. But this was a team trip with the Empire, and there were 16 of us. And Jessie Lee named us the Power of 16.
Oh God.
Amazing mindset, amazing people. I've never seen such a team uplift people up. Now, there were some that struggled, and you know what? As I was lifting them up, I also thought, you know what? I've got to keep my mindset. And it's that thing. Do you allow yourself to go back and pull you down, or do you have to focus on you? And this 5 days, I went selfishly to work on myself. I think we.
What do you mean selfishly? What?
What was the intention otherwise?
I know. This is wild to listen to.
all need that time. Now, I cheered them on. I pulled them up as much as I could, but everybody has to work on their own mindset. And you have to be ready to work on your own mindset when you're ready. I can't say, hey, you need to change your mindset. You've got to be ready to change your mindset. If you're one of those, nasty Nellies that
Us?
complain about everything,
Me?
you're hot, you're cold, it's
Guilty.
it's too soft, it's too hard, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's everything. If you're one of those people, like I can't be around that.
Okay, glad to know that. There's a difference between being aware of your body and what your body needs and being able to be safe in a situation and be able to identify signs that can put you in danger and saying, I'm getting overheated, I need to sit down and get some water. Or if you're a diabetic, again, we learned from that Mayo Clinic video that if you have diabetes and you're overheated, it can mask what it normally feels like to either have your blood sugar spiking. It can be extra dangerous. So they're saying oh, don't say anything negative. And it's like, so we're ignoring all of our gut now? We're ignoring regular situations? What is happening?
Exactly. We must sacrifice our well-being and what we know to be right for not even the good of the group, but to adhere to what our leader is telling us.
Yep. Those negative thoughts are, will poison the group, I guess. Yep.
And so you have to change your mindset. I am those positive people. And so you have to decide where your mindset is now and if you're ready to change. Do you like being around those people that are negative? Some people don't even know that they consciously are negative. And if you are that person,
Me?
there's nothing good in life.
What?
Because
Because
of
what?
It's
the
over.
mindset, because of you pushing people away because they don't want to be around negative people.
Oh my
So think
God.
positive, think mindset. Y'all, if you don't have the book that
You're going to have more friends if you're positive. I mean, I understand a little bit, but it's I also being positive in the face of actual reality. It's like, okay, I mean, there is shitty stuff going on in the world, or maybe there's some bad stuff going on in your life, and like having a realistic view and saying like, you know what, bad stuff has happened, and I'm working through this, and I'm trying to work through my feelings, because like actual things are happening to people. It's not just like, oh man, I'm looking at this the wrong way. It's just, oh, I don't know. It's twisted.
I feel like it's almost worse. I apologize. My dog is growling under my desk.
You're good.
It's almost worse to be in a position where you just like pretend everything is great and there's positives in every situation than to just accept the reality sometimes. Like, I don't understand the benefit.
Yeah, and I think the not being able to critically think, because there's so many times in these groups where it's like, it's our way or the highway. If you don't think about this, then it's gonna poison the group. And when you don't teach people how to critically think, then a lot of times they don't know how to process through things. And so instead of just saying like, let's process through this, or let's do a product and whatever in loss,
P&L?
I'm like going a P&L statement
You
or
were so
whatever.
close.
Like I was so close. I get nervous when I stream, and I'm like, I don't remember anything of what I was gonna say. But it's like, we're not processing through that, hey, we're actually losing money in this business, and so we either need to get more sales or we need to pivot and do something else. But we cannot
Or just
continue.
think more positively.
Yeah, and they're just like, no, positive thoughts. You're being too negative. You're never gonna win this way. And it's like, that's not how that actually works in fixing shit in your business.
You
Oh
heard it
my
here,
God.
folks. Just believe and you'll be a millionaire. Someone else commented that, so
Yep.
it's true.
Yep.
Discipline to Destiny. It is so amazing. You have to get that and start reading that. Some things that I'm taking away from this week, and like I say, I will be sharing in my post. I will be sharing in my lives. And I'm gonna mix my pro up while I'm
Oh
talking.
God. Product placement.
Is that I am starting 75 hard. It's not necessarily 75 days. There's just a few of us that are going to do it. I mean, there's people that are going to do it. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to
Tell us.
I mean, I've got my own disciplined areas that I have changed, and I'm going to really work out every day. Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm going to continue to drink, and some of these things I'm already.
Can I just say this? Like, most trainers don't recommend like no rest days. I've never met one trainer who's certified, who knows what they're talking about, if they're going to say like, oh, you got to work out 365 days out of the year. And it's like, not one trainer says that. I don't know. Like, whatever
It's
beating,
not beneficial. You will actually do more harm than good by not allowing your cells to regenerate properly from like a scientific perspective. But
Yeah.
okay.
So whatever
Every day.
mental beating that Jessie Lee Ward gave her team, they're all hyper focused on super discipline, push-ups every day, planks every day, working out every day. And it's like, I don't know what happened in Colombia exactly, because yeah, Jessie Lee Ward and Sasha Mateo, I wasn't there. I've just been responding to all of y'all's lives that you've been sharing, and it's like, this response from people is concerning, even though she is one of the more well-spoken people who have done a live on this situation. It's still alarming hearing what she's saying. God.
Already doing. I'm going to drink a gallon of water every day. I'm already
Oh
doing
my God.
that.
Not everyone needs to drink a
I'm gonna
gallon of
take
water
a
every
photo
day.
every single day, because I want to see how I've changed in that 75 days.
Oh, they're all doing 75 hard. Okay, great. Ugh.
I am going
This
to
is gonna be
completely
2016 fitness
eat
vibes.
Really,
Yep.
really clean. Okay, I eat clean, but
I was already eating well, but I'm going to eat even better because I wasn't super disciplined in that area, even though I was disciplined. But I wasn't as disciplined as Jessie
Slightly.
Lee Ward wanted me to be. Yeah.
Exactly. Isn't it like
God.
fruit and meat only or something? Someone told
Yep.
me in my comment.
Yeah, because apparently vegetables are going to kill you or something, or so Jessie Lee Ward has said.
Of course.
So, yep.
I'd gotten to where I was snacking probably a little more than I should, and I'm going to eat extremely clean. Okay, I'm going to cut out some other things. Along with that, I'm
Oh.
going to continue to do my intermittent
I'm
fast.
sorry. That's awful, Kirsten.
My discipline also is going to be, sometimes I usually eat, I always say before 6:30, but Dale's home now. So I'm going to have a specific time that we eat dinner, not a
What?
not an estimated time. We're going to eat every single
Hungry
day.
too bad.
unless
It's
we are
not dinner
doing
time.
something. And on Wednesday nights I don't have to cook because we go to church. But every single day we're going to eat at a certain time. And
Can you imagine? So again, I didn't think this video was going to be as wild as it is right now. We're hearing things that she's saying. It's like, oh, because I didn't have a set time for us to eat at night, I wasn't fully disciplined. So I'm going to make sure that I have a set time to eat. And it's like, maybe re-listen to this back and see if it is alarming, because the amount of control, and I don't know if you're familiar, I think you're familiar with the bite model, but on the behavior control on that, it's like there's so much that she's hitting, even though it sounds like she's just trying to make a more determined commitment to do better at some of the stuff. And it's innocuous. It's not necessarily harmful, what she's saying, but it's in the context of, in response to this Colombia trip, that's like, holy undue influence. What the hell is going on?
And I think that's the scary part to me, is that a lot of people who maybe aren't aware of that side of things and are only seeing her content
Yep.
are going to see this and be like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe like I'll try and implement some of this into my life, and take it at face value without realizing the context in which she's come to these conclusions, right?
Yep. And it's like, in the grand scheme of things, like, what if you eat dinner at different times of night? Like, well, if you're a nurse or if you're a doctor, you're probably not going to have that consistent schedule anyways, or a firefighter, or people who, or a police officer who's working a 48-hour shift or something. So it's like, it's not, they're playing it off like it's a moral decision. Like, oh, we're changing this to be moral. And it's like, whenever you eat dinner, it's like, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. I mean, and it's just wild that they're putting so much weight on like all of this structure and rigidity. It's concerning. It's like red flags everywhere. Oh my God.
so in the morning I'm going to talk to Dale and say, exactly what time do you want to eat, that we can eat, and maybe even walk after we eat dinner. This is, somebody asked me what this was. I do intermittent fasting, and so tonight before I go to bed, I do this this is the Vanilla Dream. It's so good. It has ketones and MCT oil in it. So it's one of my favorites.
Good
Sometimes
point.
I put fruit in it.
Buttercup.
Yes, but anyways, I eat clean, and I am going, the energy that I thought I took to this weekend, but it's just more. Oh, it's an excitement. Like my new word, I thought I had a new word, like excellence, and discipline are my 2 words for 23.
Oh God.
And they were other words, but excellent and discipline are my 2 words. Thank you, Vicki. Are my 2 words for 2023, and they really excite me. Excellence is one of our words in the Empire. Excellence.
Oh God.
Empathy.
Empathy.
We're all gonna get it
execution.
tattooed
I
on
love
them.
those words, but
No way that empathy is one of the words in the Empire. There's no way it's one of the words in the Empire.
I don't think Jessie Lee even knows what that word means.
Certainly not from this hike. I would say that's, and again, you're talking about empathy, and you're going into another country and being so disrespectful, in my opinion, as to disrupt like the life about, I mean, they were blindfold walking through the street talking about displaced people and how they had to walk around them, and they said it was so much disdain. And then they got stopped by the police, and it's like, at some point, it's like, we're disrupting a community that we are not a part of. We're visitors. And how is this respectful? It's not. And they're like, it's just, there's no empathy there, in my opinion. There's no empathy that they showed on this trip.
No, you need self-awareness to practice empathy, and that's clearly not in their repertoire.
Yeah.
From my observations.
but excellence. I like doing things in excellence.
Oh.
And it doesn't say perfect, okay? Don't mistake excellence for perfect, because I'm not perfect in anything. But excellence, I can do an excellent job at many things. And I'm going to do an excellent job at many things because guess what? I'm going to be disciplined
Oh,
a
God.
lot more in a lot more areas of my life. Does that make sense? So, it was an adventure. It was such an adventure. So if you, we travel like this with our company. We travel like this with our team. This was a champ retreat. So anybody that is car earning status above,
And
there were several checklists to earn this trip. Somebody asked me how I earned this trip. There's several checklists.
yeah, you had to do a ton of other stuff for free to be on this trip. And a lot of people who are car earners didn't do all that. And it's like, you shouldn't have to work for free to be able to get all this stuff. And it's like, if you actually divide out the cost of the trip to Colombia on the amount of time that they probably helped other people in the chat for free, did Zoom calls for free, did all this other stuff for free, I think that it wasn't really worth it, in my opinion. But that's just me. Oh my God. Well, here's my question, Danielle. This video, there's a whole nother like 30 minutes of it. Do you want to do a part 2 to this, or would you how do you want to proceed?
I mean, I'm good with either option.
Okay.
How are people feeling in the chat?
Yeah, live chat, let us know. You know I love a good long live stream, so live chat, you can control this adventure by saying if you want to keep going with this video. I mean, I want to cover the whole thing, but definitely want to be
We always want to stay on.
Okay, Stevie has spoken, and so has Kirsten. All right, so if Danielle's up for it, we're gonna do a late night live crew stream. Okay, let's go.
Let's
All
go,
right.
baby.
But also giving back to my team, like running our business schools, working
For free.
on committees,
For
doing
free.
things that just bettered our whole team, the
For free.
empire that's
For
led by
free.
Jessie Lee Ward.
Working
For
on
free.
committees. It makes it sound like you're doing
And
charity work.
There was a lot of people
Yep.
that earned.
You know what's so hypocritical? Jessie Lee Ward has stopped training her team for free. So then she made these masterminds where she's getting paid thousands of dollars per person to do. And then she still expects her team to train the people that that she's recruited and that other people have recruited for free. It's like, and a freaking trip is not a reward for unlimited amount of time given for free. It's twisty. I don't know. Gosh.
It, but 16 decided that they were going to Colombia. And I will tell you, I'm so glad that I was one of the 16. Because although I earned it,
Although I
there
earned
was
it.
one part of me saying, listen, I'm going to be going to Bahamas 12 days after I get back. Should I do both? And do you know, it was my husband that said, honey, you earned those trips.
Aw.
You earned those trips, and you want to build you want to build your business, and you are doing so well. You are going. I said, you know what? You're right.
Okay, I know this is twisty, but like, that's so sweet that her husband was like, you should do it. And it's like, oh, but it's so twisty too, because they got, in my opinion, treated like shit on this trip, and they were told to basically grin and bear it. And it's so wrong to treat someone as nice as her like that. I just don't get it. I'm glad
And
her
I'm
husband's
like,
nice to her.
how much did you actually grow your business? Yeah, exactly. How did this trip build your business? But also like her talking about, I built my business up to this point where I got invited on this trip. Okay, but how much? Where are the statistics? I want to know if
Yep.
the amount of hours and effort you had to put in was actually like worth it to your bottom line.
Yep. And like, if you've been tracking your revenue in your business, like so when I used to do the books for the company that I was working for in Waco, they would look at this month compared to last year, the same month, and they would track the growth of the company based off the percentages. So like, how are you really going to see if it's just we're told to trust your good feelings that this was somehow supposed to grow your business, and it's like, no, open your Google Docs, show us something meaningful, because your really strong affirmations and your smile and your like conviction is not enough to say like this did anything for your business.
But I feel so much better.
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay, but how am I going to pay my bills? That's what I want to know.
Great question. We all want to know.
I mean, y'all, I'm a mom. So
Oh.
going, for 5 days here, turning around, going 5 days the next month. And then guess what? I come back from the Bahamas and Janelle, then we go to Las Vegas. Not too long, a month after I get back from the Bahamas. So as a mom, those responsibilities hit me. And he said, listen, I'm here. You don't have to worry
Aw.
about somebody taking care of Bentley. Like, I'm here. I got you. This is your business, but we're a team player here. Hey, Kimberly, how are you? I hope that you're feeling well. I've been kind of watching to make sure you're doing well too. But listen, it was amazing. I cannot wait to share. I'm going to have to do a live and share each day because I can't do a live and share everything because I'll be on here for 5 hours, 5 days. I do love Las Vegas, so we're going, and I'll talk about that is one of our team. Good.
Oh God,
I'm so glad.
Another
that
team
is one,
trip.
Las Vegas is one of our team trips. So let me tell you about this.
Again, this is just another like sales pitch, setting up the environment that you too can join for just a low price of your left kidney. And it's all the positive stuff. It's like, I get to travel the world. I get to go on trips for free. I get to go to the Bahamas. I got to go to Colombia. I'm going to Las Vegas. I have the time freedom to do that. And it's like, okay, you forgot literally all the negative parts. And are you even actually making a profit after your expenses? Nobody knows, because it looks like they're a 2-income household. So maybe her partner is carrying most of the load and they have enough excess income that it's not a big deal to spend hundreds of dollars a month on ketones, even if she is bringing in some money. But we don't know any of that. It just looks nice and shiny and sparkly, and you can be a part of someone who's really positive.
Exactly. And Stevie also mentioned in the chat, wait until your husband finds out that you have to claim the cost of the trip on your income. Which, like, I don't think necessarily with the JLW, the Colombia trip,
Yeah.
but perhaps with this Las Vegas one, if it is a prove it trip, like,
And the
that's
Bahamas.
considered income. Yeah.
Yep. The Bahamas one is considered income too, so they all have to pay taxes on that. It's deferred income. So it's a shit deal in my opinion. Oh, she reminds me of Ray Higdon. These two are equally scammy and horrible people. I think you're talking about Jessie Lee Ward, right? Because this lady seems kind of nice. I don't know.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yep.
Like I say, what you do in one area of your life, you do in all areas. The way you
False.
show up in one area is the
False.
way you show up in all areas. I'm one of those, and I'll tell y'all, Kim, you'll love this because you know me. But I didn't take a hair dryer. This is simple things, okay? But I'll tell you this: I didn't take a hair dryer. I actually was hoping that our villa would have a hair dryer. When I got there, I said, I don't need a hair dryer. But you know what I did put on every day was my earrings. Like, I love my earrings. And it was kind of one of those things. I said, oh my gosh, you're wearing earrings today? We were hiking 12 miles. You got earrings on? I said, listen, you know that question that they say, if you are stranded on a deserted island, what would you take? I had everything in my backpack that I would take on that deserted island. I had my toothbrush and toothpaste. I didn't know we were spending the night. I had my toothbrush and toothpaste. I put my earrings in. I did have a chapstick, or I don't know that I have my chapstick, but I have my little light colored Revlon lipstick that I love. It's my favorite lipstick. It's Revlon. And it's like iced coffee or something. It's just got a little shine to it. But it keeps my lips from being dry. So I have my lipstick, I have my earrings, not these, I didn't wear these, I just wore some little studs. And I had my water, and thank goodness I took that Clemson sweatshirt because it kept me warm. But I was stranded on a desert island. Like, I never knew that I was gonna be stranded on a desert island, but
That's because your leader didn't tell you. And I know that we can say like kind of first world problems. I would say yes, but also Jessie Lee Ward tricked them on purpose. So her being grateful for some of the stuff that she brought with her. And yeah, like in the grand scheme of things, she doesn't have to worry about a roof over her head. It feels disrespectful for people who are actually displaced for them to pretend to have no access to things when they actually do. And yeah, if you're trying to grow your empathy, sometimes those experiences can help you empathize with others. But Jessie Lee Ward used this situation to have to put tighter control on her people, not to help them with any kind of perspective shift. In my opinion, it was just
exactly. Let's put you in an unhoused situation so that you can make your mindset more positive. Like, I can't.
Yeah. And it's like, if you're talking about a positive mindset, why don't you teach people how to be respectful in another country when you go visit it? And why don't you teach people how to not be, obnoxious and actually like give a shit about other people and not talk to them.
Empathetic.
Yeah. And it's like they talked about the people that were helping them like they were just some cute little pets. And it's like when you're dehumanizing people the way that you're talking about them. And you're talking about, and again, some of these people were explaining situations where it's like, oh, it was so cute. A family of 5 was on a motorcycle and they were traveling on the road. And it's like, they don't have access to another vehicle because if they did, they would not be riding on a motorcycle, in my opinion, because it's not as safe as a car would be. They don't have the money to have access to that. And then you're talking about them like they're some cute little puppy. And it's like, that's so wrong. And again, I'm not a fan of degrading people like that. I think it's wrong. And I think if Jessie Lee Ward, with all of her world traveling that she's done, was actually trying to make an impact on her team, she would have taken a leadership role and told people how to be respectful in another country, even if
these are the expectations.
Yep. Oh my God.
I had the things I needed. I did. And those are things I've always said. I think I did. Those are the things I said. I knew I would take my toothbrush because if my teeth are clean, I have my toothbrush and I threw my scope in my backpack. And I had 3 liters of water in bottles in my backpack.
Thank you.
So that joker was heavy.
Like, what
as
scope
I was
are we talking
carrying
about?
it when I first started. But as I started drinking, I drank a lot of water, so I had to, scoot over in the woods as we were walking 12 miles, 10 miles, or, when we found a bathroom, I was there because I drank a lot of water, but my backpack was getting lighter. Does that make sense? But it was a fabulous day. I mean, it was a fabulous week in Colombia. Beautiful people, beautiful scenery. We went snorkeling. I don't know that I didn't really take a whole lot of pictures of snorkeling. But we did masterminds all 3 days with Jessie Lee. We all got an 1.5-hour massage after that day of spending the night. I walked the street. We had a team building.
I don't see how I know that they all feel grateful that they got a massage, and Jessie Lee Ward and Sasha Mateo feel like some kind of savior to their team.
I paid for 16 massages.
Yeah.
I am God.
Yeah. It's just like, no, you don't get to treat people like, I mean, I guess you do. You treat people like shit and then do something nice for them and then tell them that they're supposed to be really grateful. And it's like, no, you just treated people like shit and then you also paid for a massage and they're not the same. You're trying to buy, it felt like she was trying to buy them off, or she was trying to make an impactful punch at the very end of an awful situation, and then they're all going to remember like, oh, I'm so grateful. It's like, for what? Getting treated and drugged, basically. It's just, I don't know. I wish that they were a part of a better team. I wish they got treated better. I wish that Jessie Lee Ward had enough self-awareness to say, like, the way I'm treating people is wrong. The amount of control I'm trying to exert over others and the amount of harm I'm doing is wrong, and I want to change. And I know everyone's like, she's never going to change, but I'm like, secretly, I hope someone wakes up. I hope some multi-level marketing top pyramid performer finally wakes up someday and it's like, what I'm doing is wrong. I want to change. Because I know Aaron changed. Aaron decided to stop being on the team and saying like something's wrong. Just people can wake up. Just don't know if Jessie Lee Ward's ever going to wake up.
I don't think it's in the personality, but that's just my opinion.
activity, and I had to walk the streets of Colombia
No,
in my
you
bare
chose.
feet.
You chose to.
Which,
You chose to.
if you know me, you know
God.
I don't walk. I love to walk barefooted on the beach. I walk barefooted in my yard. In public, I do not walk in public with bare feet. I think it's gross. I think it's disgusting when I see people in Walmart or the gas
my
station or
God.
running in the grocery store with bare feet. Like, I gag. Like, that is.
Do you not? Do you the lack of like awareness on the people who went on this trip is just wild. Just the way they talk about others and the lack of understanding that there could be people of different financial situations, people of different home situations, and just saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm just so disgusted that you don't have shoes." Maybe they literally don't have shoes. Maybe they don't have access to be able to buy shoes. Did you ever think about that? You're just talking about how disgusted you are that someone isn't wearing shoes in a store. Like, give me a break. Like, I don't know. I don't have grace for stuff like this because the way they're talking about others is just so inhumane in my opinion.
Your privilege is showing.
Oh God, seriously.
How dare you come from another socioeconomic class? Unacceptable.
Oh my God.
So far out of my comfort zone, major. And so we had to do this exercise.
No, you chose to, and Jessie Lee
Why?
Ward made you. Why? Yeah, what's the
Does
point?
anyone know? Does anyone know why they had to not wear shoes? I still have not had an answer to that question.
Yeah, we don't know.
And they said, "Oh, take your shoes off." And I was like, "Hey, well, one pair of socks will be ruined. That's okay." And then they said, "Take your socks off. We're going to walk the streets." And I
Hell
was like,
no.
"You got to be kidding me. I got to walk these nasty streets." It's not just Columbia
These nasty streets.
streets. It's anywhere, any public streets. I got to walk these nasty streets with my bare feet. And I did.
No, you chose to because you are wanting to follow the rules and follow Jessie Lee Ward at all costs and at all, like, in the face of your gut probably saying this is not smart to do. It is. God, indoctrination of trust. Absolutely, Jennifer. Absolutely.
Way out of Lynn Adcox's comfort zone. Way out of Lynn Adcox's comfort zone. But you know what? I did. And that was mindset. I didn't say anything negative outside. Nobody knew. Nobody
Mindset?
knew that
Always
was
with the
a really
mindset.
pet peeve of mine
God.
that I do not walk. Does anybody else feel that way too, or is it just me? Y'all let me.
It's not just you. It's you and the people who went on this trip. Just, oh my God, it's awful. And I think that it makes them feel vulnerable. Like I don't know, I don't know what it does. I wish like someone in psychology would break this down because I don't know like what the trust thing was, because we saw also specifically that it was either Sasha or Mateo was letting people purposely stub their feet and hurt themselves. Like it was just basically like he was just making sure that they weren't going to get hit by a car, but they were running into like light poles and stubbing their toes and all this other stuff because, you know, that was part of the trust, the trust experience. And it's like, seriously, that's awful. Mateo. Yep, Mateo did it. Okay, thank you for clarifying. Yeah, it's just I'm starting to dislike the word mindset. We all dislike it at this point, Monica. Oh my God. My dad cannot have a tetanus shot. Sends him into anaphylaxis. Would he have still been expected to take off his shoes? I bet so. Because they had someone who has diabetes on their team. Do you know how bad it can be for someone who has diabetes to get something like an infection, but also sometimes there's less feeling on the bottom of their feet so that they don't know if they've been injured as much, because like that's one of the symptoms or one of the side effects of, I don't know, it's bad. It's additionally bad, and the infection is also another big part of it too. It's just feet are a problem for him. Also, would he still be expected? Apparently so, because they had someone who had diabetes on this trip and they were expected to do all this.
You disliking the word mindset is just a bad mindset. Yeah, guys, get it together.
That's our broke mindset talking.
Come on.
Yeah. Yep.
Let me know in the comments. Like, do you walk barefooted in the grocery store? Would you walk barefoot in the grocery store, or
If I had to.
Yeah.
or a gas station, or Walmart,
If I didn't have a
or any
choice.
public area? Like, I didn't. And I'm not going to
Must
tell
be
you
nice
that
to be you.
I got so far out my box that I'm going to start walking barefooted in the grocery store, because that's not happening. Okay, but this when we did this activity,
Tell
the
us.
whole gist, say hey Pat, the whole gist of this activity was feeling grounded,
No.
feeling your senses. We were blindfolded, and we had a partner. They had to lead us. They took us, I don't know, 5 blocks away, and they had to lead us back. Well, the person that was leading needed to know the way back to our villa. But I walked, barefooted. Well, what I knew that we were on the street when I walked on the street, because the streets there are smooth like rocks. I knew when we were
Smooth
on
like
the sidewalk.
rocks? What do you mean?
Now, my partner, she said I walked her through some wet stuff or water. I don't remember doing that on purpose, but she said I did. And her name was Rock. She was from Mexico City, and I had to get the translator to say I didn't mean to do it on purpose if you stepped in it. Whoa, am I heading? You went to? I did last week. I was there. But I will tell you, I felt grounded. I had to use my senses. I had to use my touch. I had to use the touch from the bottom of my feet.
Can you just imagine for a second if you don't have access to be able to buy shoes for yourself, and you watch Americans or anyone who has the ability and has actually the option of wearing shoes take their shoes off and walk barefoot through the street. And I'm just imagining that if you're the person that doesn't have shoes and you're watching that, like how awful that you would feel like watching that, because you probably would never be in that situation. If you had access to shoes, you wouldn't purposely like not have shoes. Does that make sense? Like just the weird mental hoops that Jessie Lee Ward made them jump through, and how disrespectful it was to do that to people who, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's just like, it's a mind warp. This is just so, I don't know. Maybe it's like it's just,
It's very tone deaf.
Yeah.
I think Clowntown is saying it right in the comments. Like, people are going to wear their shoes until they fall off to not get humiliated. And essentially what they're doing, like, if I am not of the means to buy new sneakers, I'm going to wear them until they're literally disintegrated and I cannot wear them any longer.
Yeah.
To avoid having to walk around barefoot. Yet to them, it's like a fun game of show and tell to walk around without my shoes on, and my friend gets to guide me while I'm blindfolded or whatever the fuck. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, and it's wild that the person who is supposedly the world traveler, Jessie Lee Ward, is the one who came up with this exercise that you're not aware enough. I guess the lack of empathy is like the nicest way I can put it. The lack of empathy for others, the lack of awareness for other people's situations, because it does come across that she is, she seems to be pretty elitist, that she despises people who are of a certain socioeconomic class, just the way that she talks about them. And I think that perspective she has seems to seep down into the people who are closest to her, because nobody spoke up. Nobody said anything to her. Nobody said this is wrong to do. It's inappropriate. And maybe they couldn't have, because her cult of personality, her influence that she has on her team must be incredibly strong. Oh my God.
Feet. So it was really powerful. You couldn't have done that in shoes. You could not have done that in socks. So I did love that.
Good point, Jennifer.
So that was really cool. But so many things, when you show up and you're positive in one aspect, you need to be positive and show up that way in everything. So again, it was amazing. Yep. No, it was not through my company. It was through our team within our company. Yes. So, you know what? Just have a positive mind, y'all. It was so amazing. If you are curious about what I do, I
Send
share
me a
exogenous
DM.
ketones. I help.
Send me a DM.
I
No.
help busy moms, entrepreneurs, dads make money from their phone. And it's been amazing. We have amazing systems. Y'all, we've got a new workflow system. She's actually called, I heard somebody say this weekend and I wrote it down. It's an artificial intelligence bot. It's a bot, which when you click on something, it automatically goes. And so we have a team, our own personal team. I know the people that are behind the
Mateo and Sasha.
bot that I absolutely love. And so the bot answers questions, whether it's about ketones or whether it's about the business. You do the artificial intelligence bot. Well, this is what I'll tell you. I know the intelligence behind this bot because I was with them for 5 days. Hey, Shelly, how?
It's just basically like, it's a little more advanced than Betty the Bot, but it's an if-then situation. So if someone asks a certain thing, then it already has pre-done answers. But the way that they're describing it is like, they described it on one of the lives that Aaron and Julie Joe did, but it's a little more advanced than Betty the Bot. But it's just, and Jessie Lee Ward's taking credit for it, even though Sasha and Mateo are the ones that got that system in place. So I don't know.
How are you? I'm glad you're here. Thank you. It was wonderful. Hey, Linda. Hey, Maggie. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Sheila. Hey,
Okay,
Big County.
let's go.
That's awesome. Okay, so anyway, if you're interested in the ketones,
I'm not
or if
interested,
you're interested in
thank
the
you.
business, I would love to share exactly what I do. Or you can go through that bot if you're not ready to talk.
If you're interested in ketones, you too can try to win a trip to Colombia where you're going to be told you're going to go on a 2-hour hike, but it's actually going to be 24 hours. You're not going to have access to potentially enough water. You're going to have to walk through the streets of Colombia barefoot, and if you speak up, you may get shunned. Yes, this is an incredible opportunity. Sign up today for thousands of dollars. Sounds like a deal.
Someone put in the chat, even if I were remotely interested after hearing all of this, there's no way I would contact you to start this business.
I know, and she's so nice, but it's like we listen to the story in the entirety, and it's like my eyebrows are just like all the way up at the ceiling. I'm like, there's no way. I don't think someone's gonna be like, yep, this is great. I'm gonna sign up for this shit. God.
Talk to me directly. You can go through the bot. It takes you through, it answers your questions, and then at the very, very end, you get my phone number. You text me. We can have a conversation. Or if it doesn't get you through, if it's something that doesn't quite work, let me know, because if I don't know, we can't work on that bot. But it's been working. And so it's been pretty good. The other thing that I will tell you about this team that we're on is that not everybody is directed to each other. And so what we call it's sideline sisters and brothers that we work together. Okay. You don't work to get it is a competition. It absolutely is a competition. And
Aaron has shared some of this stuff on her live streams that it wasn't exactly foolproof and not poaching people in these ad tag message groups. So, paint it however you want, but people are actually spreading or sharing the real information about what actually goes on in this stuff. Oh my God.
So what I found is not every other company or team does that. If you're not on my direct team, then I don't really help you. Well, that's not how it is on our team. Hey, Vicki Barnes, how are you, my friend? That's not how it is here. And so I love the conglomeration.
Oh, God.
Collaboration. I think that's what I was looking for. Collaboration that we can use in working together with our sideline business leaders. Y'all, we just have to, we've got so much to offer. And so the brainstorming that we got to do this weekend, I got so many nuggets, and y'all, this is my notes. I took so many notes that are amazing. This is going to be like my golden notebook forever. I will be forever indebted to just heartfelt connection with these our Power of 16 crew.
She's never getting out.
But if 100%,
it doesn't sound like it, that's
in all
for sure.
things, of life that you are disciplined in, I promise you, it can change. It can change everything. So I don't know if you're looking for.
No, we're not. We're
I
not.
don't really like to call it a side hustle, but anyways,
What are you
if
going to
you're
call it
looking for
then?
something to for extra income, if you're looking for something to get out of one job, don't quit your job. But if you're looking for something that can help you financially, that can help you do some with freedom. But again, the
You
freedom, I
can't
didn't
say
always have
that.
the freedom.
You didn't. You literally can't. Sorry. Imagine getting. I'm trying to click on that. Imagine getting there before high tide and getting trapped. Yep, could have happened. They lucked out on that spot too. They lucked out, big time. But they're not allowed
That
to
was
say
the-
financial freedom either. So it's just, God,
The whole thing is just so messy.
it's twisty. It's just super twisty.
Freedom at first, and I didn't talk about that. I loved it, but Dylan and I were talking about, you have to really be smart with your time frame, or you're sitting at a desk for 12 hours a day. Does that make sense?
Oh my God,
So,
shame the people who
there's
have
lot
a
of
9
things
to
that you have to
fucking
work,
5.
work about yourself, but you really learn who you are. A lot of people say when you come to this type of business that you really heal from within, and you learn exactly who you are and who you want to be. Like, who are you today? Who were you yesterday? Who are you today? And who do you want to become? Not another person, but who is that person do you want to become? I decided this weekend that I want to become a very disciplined person.
You're telling me, ma'am, that you were not unduly influenced to become a more disciplined person. You're saying to me that now you have to have a set meal time, that you're going to be doing push-ups and planks every day because that's what Jessie Lee Ward requires, that if you're not disciplined in every area of your life, you're not disciplined in any area of your life. You're saying that is the mindset that you're going to be going forward in your life with. It's like, what? Oh my God. Hey, Harper. As I do the thing that I'm critiquing Lynn of
of my
doing.
life. That doesn't mean that if Dale says, "Hey, let's go do this," that I can't do that last minute. But it may be that I say, "Listen, I need to wait an hour because I've already got this blocked out." Does that make sense? And you don't have to do it where, I like a flexible lifestyle, and Dale likes a flexible lifestyle. But there's so many areas that I'm truly not disciplined in.
Wait.
And it wasn't that.
We both, the people who are married or in a committed relationship with, know that they enjoy a flexible lifestyle. And yet Jessie Lee Ward has inserted herself into another relationship. And now the people who enjoy the flexibility are going to be super rigid in stuff that doesn't have to be rigid. How does that make sense?
Freedom and flexibility that doesn't exist because I have to follow
God.
a schedule that my holy leader told me to.
Oh my God.
Make it
This
make
is
sense.
wild. Yeah, somebody make it make sense. And it's like the amount of people, the amount of relationships that Jessie Lee Ward and Mateo and Sasha and Brian Underwood or whatever, the mindset that has inserted into all these different relationships. It's like, you're a person who's making a commission off of every single order that you make to your multi-level marketing company and doesn't need another invitation to mess up your friendships and relationships in your life. I'm just, as many times as I need to say it, stop fucking around with people's relationships. Everyone in multi-level marketing, just freaking stop it.
They're not necessarily less prioritized. I just didn't really put schedules on them, or
my
maybe
God.
goals on those areas. And I'm gonna be talking about that because maybe that maybe you don't understand what I mean by that. But anyway, I'm excited, y'all. This was again an amazing 5-day trip to Colombia with 16 amazing people. We did a lot of mindset with Jessie Lee. We got so many amazing nuggets. I've got a lot of activities.
Welcome back,
I got a
Shadow.
lot of homework to do for me. But I know how I can scale my business now on social media. There's so much out there that are saying, hey, you can do this business. And so you just have to search.
Andrea said, Dave, Hollis died. I didn't.
I'm looking
know
this
that.
up right now. He did. It's everywhere.
Holy shit! What happened? Sorry, content warning, everyone.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh my god, all of his kids.
Saturday night. Wait. Yeah.
Oh,
He had
my
been recently
God.
hospitalized, it said. No exact cause of death has been determined.
Oh my god. Sorry, content warning, everyone. Oh my god, his kids. Holy shit. That's awful.
Oh my God.
Oh my god. I feel so bad for his kid. All of his kids. He has a lot
He has
of
4
kids.
kids, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was hospitalized for heart issues. Oh. Holy shit. Sorry, I'm just like shocked. Like, holy crap.
Oh my God.
He has one of his. If she has already posted about this, I'm gonna be pissed.
Rachel
she
or
didn't.
Heidi?
Rachel. Yeah, good point. They're both in the middle of it. Oh my god. You were on Kia's stream earlier when you found out. Oh my god. I lost my dad when I was 28 and it still hurts. I'm sorry, Sherry. That's awful. I feel so bad for his kids. That's devastating. Oh my god. Well, yeah. That's awful.
Wow.
Man. Rough news. Holy shit. Okay.
You just have to, search and do your research on them and find out if they're for you. You can make money online. Find a product, find a service that you absolutely are passionate about. But what I will tell you is this.
What?
Sometimes you don't know the community until you hop in.
Just stop it. Don't even say that you just don't know how good the community is going to be until you freaking hop in. No. Ask a lot of questions, get straight answers, make an informed decision. Don't just close your eyes and jump in on the deep end without a life vest on, and when you can't swim. Give me a break.
Hello. How are you? But
I'm sorry,
you might
Harper.
not know the community. And what I do know is that our community as a whole has the biggest heart. And in this group of 16 this weekend,
I'm sorry,
there's
Diesel.
so
That's awful.
many
It's tough.
big hearts. Extroverts, introverts. We had 2 that spoke. We had 2 people that spoke Spanish only, so we had a translator the whole entire time. Our translator is one of our champs, Roberto. He was one of our champs, but 2 people only spoke English.
Spanish.
And so, as much as that was,
Don't even say that was a challenge. Don't even say that was a challenge. The entitlement and the expectation that people have to fucking speak
Everyone must
English.
speak English.
Give me a break.
Oh my God. I used to live in Southeast Asia. I lived in Vietnam for a year, and
Oh,
the
wow.
number of foreign travelers that I would see get angry with locals because they couldn't speak English. I'm like, the fuck? Learn Vietnamese
Yes.
coming here. Oh my God. But
Seriously.
the expectation is always there that I'm an English speaker, so no matter where I go, I should be able to communicate with people. Get over yourself.
Seriously.
a challenge. It was beautiful because you know what? We use body language to
Hey,
talk a lot.
Tish,
Y'all talk
what's
with my
up?
hands. If you made me sit on my hands, I probably would stop talking. But we didn't see that as a challenge. We just worked our way through it. And so for this weekend,
Exactly,
my
Karina.
several top things that I will take out, and then I'm going to close for the night because I'm going to go get some good rest because I got a busy
Oh,
day
yeah.
tomorrow. Is discipline number one in all areas of my life. Continue to read, 10 to
God.
15 pages in my personal development every single day. And I do quiet time with God I do quiet time with God every day. That will continue. My drinking water every day, my intermittent fasting that I love to do, my exercise every day. And then we worked out with each other every single day. And I'll tell you about that plan in just a second. For me,
God.
a photo every day, and I hadn't been doing that. Just really clean eating and taking the energy that I left with into everything. I feel like that I do bring positive energy to my team. I feel like I bring positive energy to my family. But sometimes life throws a
Bye,
loop,
Stevie.
and I am just
Have a
going to
good
be more
night.
conscious about how to refocus that to keep that positive energy. Does that make sense? Maybe it does.
No.
But every single day we got up, and it was disciplined. It was a disciplined schedule.
They woke up every day. Did you
we
hear
got
that,
up,
guys?
we all worked
Yep.
out together.
God.
We started doing a plank. I think the first plank was like 1 minute the first day, and then the next 2 days, I think the next 3 days were 3 minutes. And you listen, pain is in your mind.
No, literally it's not. Literally it's not. I mean, your pain is a signal sometimes to tell you that something is wrong, that you need to be aware of your body. And so I think there's some range of like, oh, I can push through this if I'm educated on what to listen to or what to react to when you're fully like aware of, if you're in the process of like training for something, or if you are an athlete who's been around and like you understand like this pain is good and this pain is like I need to stop. It's not just a blanket statement of like the pain's in your mind and you have to push past everything. It's like that's such a recipe for disaster.
Believe the pain away.
Yep.
I am physically fit, but a 3-minute plank hurt my body, but it was in my mind. I
That's
did
super
it.
smart,
My
Tish.
knees didn't go down, but people worked up to that. And guess what? I will continue that. I'm gonna do a 3-minute plank every day, and then and I'm gonna work up to the 5 minutes, and I'm gonna work up to the 5 minute and a half, and I'm
God.
gonna work up to the 6 minute. And so I asked Dale and I go do the planks every day and build our time. But we had we had breakfast by 8:30ish. It was ready. We had beautiful chefs that were in our villa, 2 beautiful ladies that fixed our food every single day. And we had breakfast. We left the house on a timely schedule every day. We ate some of the best food ever. We went out and did our activities. Our meals were the exact same time, except the night that we slept on the beach. So we didn't know we were going to sleep on the beach.
Except the night we slept
but
on the
guess what?
beach. Okay.
When they fed us, and then we were, then it was your
I hate it when that
it
happens,
was your
Diesel.
responsibility what time you went to bed. Did you stay up and read? Did you stay up and talk? Did you stay up, or were you like some of them? And as soon as we could go to bed, went to bed. What was I going to say? Oh, the day that we hiked 12 miles, we literally drove like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we were dropped off in the middle of nowhere, third world streets.
Third world, God,
a thin road.
The audacity, the way that they are just disgusted by being in another country is wild. Just, I don't get it. I don't like know how to have more empathy for her, because it's like, it's rude. And rude is like the nicest way to say it, because I feel like it's more pervasive.
Ignorant.
Than just, it's ignorant. Yeah, it's ignorant. Oh my God.
Little tiny cars. So when we're walking the street, we're walking in a single file line, and when the cars are passing, they're like passing like really close. Like if I
on
couldn't
Jessie
hold
Lee
my
Ward.
hand out because I would hit the car would hit me. Pat. Oh, Pat, your positivity, it was made me follow you and believe in you. Girl, you know what? That's good, Pat. But I want my positivity to spread to you so that you believe in yourself. Like, I love that you believe in me and you want to watch me. But my whole goal in even going live
Is to sell ketones.
every day, and some people get it from reading what I write. Hey, Kristen, how are you, girly? And Chris and I go to Bahamas in 11 days together. I'm so excited. But what I will tell you is one of the main reasons I go live every single day is because I want something that I say to hit you and your heart and said, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it. If you don't have the belief, borrow the belief in me. But I want you to be able to believe in yourself more. Does that make sense? That is my whole goal. So those are the things that I'm taking away from. But the main is discipline. Like, I'm going to be more disciplined in my Christian life. Okay. In my family, I'm going to be more disciplined. In my workout, I'm going to be more disciplined. In my business, I'm going to be more disciplined.
And
okay.
Jessie Lee Ward has seeped into every single part of this lady's life. Oh my God.
Kristen, have you gotten the book Discipline is Destiny? And
No.
if you have you started reading it?
No.
Because it is like one of the 16 that were with us said, listen, when I read a book and I get that golden nugget, like I just like close the book and I might go live on it. I might do a post on it. I might, I'll talk about it. And I said, girl, it will take you 5 years to read this book, because this book, I don't know that this book is not the most amazing book that I've ever read that helps with discipline. I did read Winning by Tim Grover, which, if any of you were following me at that time, I said that Winning by Tim Grover was my favorite book, and I don't think I'd ever read another book as far as mindset that was better than Winning. So I love that book. I will always love that book, but this is my book right now.
Oh
and
my God.
he has another book. Ryan Holiday has another book that says ego is Ego is the evil.
The problem is with all of this personal development is that multi-level marketing top pyramid performers and top leaders they leverage these personal development books to silence people's gut and their conscience and their like red flag BS meter. In my opinion, it's like, oh, overcome hard things, and it's like, okay, so what am I supposed to listen to? Nothing, because you can't trust anything. You can't trust your emotions. You can't trust your body telling you something's wrong. You can't trust like that you're tired. You just got to go and do it and like choose to do it. And a lot of these personal development books play into that, and then people end up freaking twisted after they're in these multi-level marketing companies.
And they're also on this like false belief that they're experts in whatever this topic is. Like,
Yep.
she reads one book and is like, I'm going to go live about this chapter, and then I'm going to, write an online course or something. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. And they see the example Jessie Lee Ward, in my opinion, steals people's trainings and the books that she's like, I read this book and I'm going to go live about it. Well, I feel like in that situation, that is inappropriate, because you're using someone else's intellectual property, an actual trademark, and you're taking that and then you're going to make money off of it. So I don't know. It's just, it feels shady, slimy, shady. And then she teaches all of her downline to do the same thing.
Exactly.
It's like, ugh.
Ego is your evil.
Oh God.
Something like that. I don't know. Something like that. I like Ryan Holiday. I like how he writes. But this is my book right now. And so I don't know. I'm even thinking about maybe doing a book club.
Oh my God.
And talking about
not
this
a book club
on here. If some of you want to get that book, let's talk about it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but anyway. So discipline and excellence is what I'm taking away. But again, I'm going to be.
Yeah, we heard you the first 50 times.
Moving my body every day.
This live, I think, should have stopped about 15 minutes ago. I think she had good momentum, and she should have just gone out with a bang of like,
let it go.
Yes.
Eating clean, just bringing my positive energy to my lives, bringing my positive energy to all things that I do. I wake up every day and I'm disciplined in a lot of areas, and my faith is one of my areas that I'm probably most disciplined already in. Not many things at all. Get me off track with my quiet time with God. And I wake up every day and I said, you know what? Let everything that I do today be pleasing. Every word that is spoken and every action that is taken be pleasing to you. I say that every day. That's my prayer before I ever.
The fact that she is so sincere about stuff and that she is getting taken advantage of by Jessie Lee Ward is hard to. It's hard to watch.
Exactly.
Because, like, again, absolutely no shade to people who are Christians, because she seems so genuine, but the way that Jessie Lee Ward has inserted herself and her influence into her life and twisted this, it's just.
I feel like it's almost like
wild.
on the same tier in terms of like her devotion to God, and then it's like she's
Yep.
echoing that same sort of behavior when it comes to Jessie Lee.
Yep, I agree.
My feet ever hit the ground. That is my prayer every single day. So my faith and my relationship with God is probably the most disciplined out of all of my areas. Now that doesn't mean that my family is not there, but I'm just saying my faith. And so you know what? The thing about it is when your faith is like that, then other areas are reflected by that. So although I have some work to do, I have some work because what I found was, I am not disciplined in a few areas and I need to be more disciplined in that area. Yes, the plank. Absolutely. Absolutely. So the plank, I was just talking about the plank that we did a minute plank and everybody was, not everybody, there was a lot of moaning and groaning, but I think you could have some positive moans. The last day that we did
Y'all, if you can, also head over to Danielle and make sure you subscribe to her. If you type in Danielle Ryan, I will also make sure to link her in my description after the stream. But don't forget to follow her. She makes incredible content. She also has an additional facet of like giving actual business advice and help in that area too. So
the 3-minute plank, I will tell you this. I don't know what, hey Courtney, I don't know what you were doing, but the last day that I was doing that plank, and actually 2 minutes, I didn't tell Sasha this because he was leading it, but 2 minutes was like really easy for me that day.
of course
We
you
had
wouldn't
done
want to
it
tell
for-
Sasha because he would have told y'all you're going to have to do like double
10
the time.
minutes.
Yeah. It's like, 2 minutes is too easy. Here, stay here for 20 minutes. It's like, God,
4 days.
I
3
also
days
don't
prior to.
believe,
So the
sorry,
you're good.
I just don't believe that you can build your endurance that quickly. Like you do a plank one day, you'd be so sore the next day, not resilient to like
Yeah.
now all of a sudden I can hold a 5-minute plank like that. It logically doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, and again, it's twisty listening to all the stories, and it's like, well, what actually happened on this freaking trip?
last minute, and then he said, another minute, and I was like, I first thought, oh my, and I didn't even lift my booty until that last minute. And that's what I will tell you. I started singing the song Amazing Grace. And then I heard, then 2 other people told me after the plank was over, I was talking to myself. And I just started singing Amazing Grace. And I really think that I got louder and louder and louder and louder. And I will tell you that I had 2 other people walk up to me and say, listen, you know what got me through that plank? I heard you singing. And I was just listening to you. So my point in saying that is when you're positive, it exuberates. It helps other people.
This is so twisty in the way that she's describing this, and I know no shade, but the way that they're describing it is like they didn't have a choice to leave, and that they're all trying to like lift each other up in this
Make
situation.
the best of the worst circumstance.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't want to throw mind control around, but just the undue influence, the control,
for sure.
the groupthink, the control that is exerted over the people who won this trip. God.
But if you're negative and you have a terrible attitude,
Yep.
guess what?
Jessie Lee
People
Ward
are
did
gonna
make
walk
fun of her
away.
for singing. Yep, in the second life.
It reflects everything that you do in life. Y'all, I have a 6-year-old that watches me. He said, Mom, I'm doing that plank with you.
She's got a
Why
6-year-old?
did you say anything? I know. I know. I would have wished that he would have just kept the timer going, and I'd have thought that, darn, that's a long 2 minutes. It wasn't that long yesterday. I mean, that's probably what I would have thought. I wouldn't have thought another minute. So I will tell you, the way you show up for yourself, and one thing is the way that you show up. I cannot wait to share with you this week. So if you're not following me on Instagram,
You're good, Tish.
on Facebook, on TikTok, make sure that you follow me. Again, if you want to know about what I do or about the ketones, if you go on any of those platforms and you click on my profile, it is the first one you click and it says start here. It's not me. I'm not gonna send you all this stuff. You go through it, you talk about it. If you're interested in what I do, I'm happy to share it
why
with
would
you.
I do it?
If you just
Do the
want to
work
follow
yourself.
me because you like
Yeah.
my inspiration, you love my positivity, follow me. I would love to be friends. We
Her
can
call
be
to
friends.
action's so
Lots
nice.
of friends that I've never talked about ketones to. I have lots of friends that I've never talked to the business about. It's okay.
Yeah, they're just my warm market. They're ready to go. They're locked and loaded into my little funnel, into the ketone stuff, the ketone lifestyle.
It's okay. Okay, we all love different things. We all
It's
drink
okay.
different things.
If you don't
Is
want my
it though?
ketones, it's okay. It's okay. You're put in the lesser category. Okay, got it.
We all
You can
are
catch me
different
live
people.
tomorrow.
It's okay. I do like being friends with you, though. So, what I will tell you is this: think about where your commitment is and where you want to be. All right.
Not
So,
here.
I
Not
hope that
here.
I hope I gave you a little bit more
For the love of God.
that you want to come back and find out what my whole 5 days was like, because that's what I'm going to be talking about.
I'm gonna download the
And,
rest of her
there's
stuff.
just so much to share. I cannot wait. I can't wait to share it.
I can't wait to
But
listen.
this business
Honestly, I'm
is
on the edge
a
of my
business
seat.
that anybody can do. I
No,
love to
literally
travel.
no.
It gives me that. It gives me that
Literally by definition, not everyone can do this. Literally by definition.
opportunity. And Dale's gonna be traveling with me too. So this 5 days was in Colombia, South America. I loved it.
Did you?
In 11 days, I go to the Bahamas with my company, another earned trip, and then in a month after that, I go to Las Vegas for our team meeting. And that is amazing. If you have never followed Eric Worre, he's probably
God.
one of the top
No.
network marketers, males out there. And
Number
we're
one
going to
network
his
marketer in the
studio
world.
for our team meeting. And y'all, I've been to
Oh.
his house for a meeting
God,
October
no
2
way.
years ago. I was invited to go. It was amazing, and so we're going to his studio this time in Las Vegas, and I'm really excited about that. Of course, we should be.
Of course we should be. What do you mean we should be? She keeps inserting these certain like phrases, and I'm like, oh my God, blink twice. Like, what the hell? What the hell's going
Exactly.
on?
That's the vibe I'm getting for sure. Like Jessie told me I had to be excited, so I'm really excited, as I should be, as we all should be.
God.
As you
She's-
surround yourself with like-minded people, you get out of life, you get out of those situations exactly what you need. And I certainly did that this past
Oh
these
my
past
God.
days. So until I see you again, my friends, God bless you and have a great night.
Holy shit. Well,
Oh my god.
another person heard from. She was one of the 16 who went on the trip with Jessie Lee Ward and Sasha and Mateo to Colombia, and Prove It doesn't give a flippity flop. And I don't want to hide Brian Underwood behind the Prove It Corporation, but Brian Underwood continues to greenlight this behavior of Jessie Lee Ward, treating her team like this, because she makes him a lot of money. And I hope that more people, I'm like pausing because my RAM is like super used up right now, but continues to greenlight Jessie Lee Ward because she makes them a lot of money. And I hope that again, I love that Julie Jo has gotten a lot of attention on this issue. I think her TikTok has well over 1 million views on it. And Chelsea and Deanna Mims and
Isabella just posted a video today.
Isabella just posted, and I'm trying to when I see a video posted, I'm putting them in the Colombia playlist. So if you're trying to see what the hell's going on, it's all different creators. If you want your video on the list and I haven't already added it, make sure to reach out to me and I'm happy to put it on the playlist. But so Danielle, do you have closing thoughts on this fuckery that we just watched for 2 hours and 43 minutes and 41 seconds? Because holy crap.
I feel like my brain is melting. I'm like sitting here like, what the did I just watch? I'm going to need to like process, I think.
Sure.
Oh my God.
I honestly thought that the call, like when I was like, oh, let's do Lynn because people, I haven't reacted to all of her stuff yet. And it's like, I thought it wasn't going to be as twisty as it was. And then
like telling for sure.
Yep, it absolutely was telling on all the stuff that happened. And it's surprising that so many stories confirm the awful stuff that happened on that trip. And you think, okay, maybe one person got it wrong. Maybe two people, if they're friends, told the same story. But we've reacted to whatever 8 people at this point, and they're all saying the same thing. And it's like some kind of shit went down on this trip, and it is, in my opinion, Jessie Lee Ward's fault, Brian Underwood's fault, and I hope that there's enough pressure to get them to hold somebody accountable because this was awful.
Because if not, my question is like, where do we go from here?
Sure.
We wait for the next scandal? Like,
yeah.
Where is the end?
Yep. And it shouldn't be, Lara B is going to release a video. Cool. It shouldn't be like the worst situation should change the behavior. Meaning like you shouldn't wait for the catastrophic event to happen to change policy or change how you are treating, it's like.
That's emergency preparedness 101, folks. It translates into business.
Yep. But here we are waiting for Brian Underwood to do something. And until he does, we're going to make a big stink about it on the internet. And I hope as many people who can cover it in any other multi-level marketing company. It's not that we're just like, yay, a villain. It's like, holy shit, people's human rights are getting potentially, they're getting, people are not having access to things that they should have access to. And Jessie Lee Ward and Sasha Mateo are messing around with people's ability to say yes to something. They're not able to provide informed consent on stuff. People should be able to do that. And it's wrong. And you can say like, oh, we're just some freaking haters on the internet who have, don't have something better to do with our time. I assure you that we all have something better to do with our time than try to get someone to stop taking financial advantage and physical advantage of other people. And we're trying to do something about it.
And I would argue that like this, yes, we're all fixated on like this specific event because of how extreme it is, but this is merely just an example of the common behavior that is seen across the industry, across leadership. Like she is not the one and only, or the three of them are not the one and onlys. It's like you see this play out in different versions time and time again across MLMs.
Yep. We see it in Amare. We see it in Young Living. We've seen it. And if you're new to the multi-level marketing space and you're wondering like, oh, it can't be that bad in every company. The way the compensation structure works, it creates a very twisty situation because when you can convince someone else to buy a product, you automatically get a commission. You don't have to worry about them selling the product because as long as you're a good salesperson to your downline, you're going to win. And so the way, again, the recruiting happens too, they're built on close relationships, and then it gets more and more and more in terms of recruiting, but it is so tight knit with every part of a lot of people's lives based on where people recruit. They recruit at churches, they recruit at schools, they recruit close
everywhere. Nowhere is off limits.
Yep. And so it is twisty, and it does happen in every company. So, yeah. And again, not to not to create a villain out of someone. It's highlighting a behavior, like Danielle said. It's highlighting a behavior that pops
Patterns.
up. Yep. And again, and if you've ever read anything by Stephen Hassan, cult behavior is predictable. And I know that's hard to wrap our minds around sometimes, because when I was in a multi-level marketing company, when I was in Young Living, and I first saw one of my first videos, and then I listened to Chelsea and she's like, call your dad, you're in a cult. It was hard to process, like, oh my gosh, I'm plugged into a system and there's undue influence going on. And it is a high control group. And when you're going off, checking off the list on Stephen Hassan's like bite model, or filling out if you're part of an authority, kind of a destructive group, it's like, holy shit, there's so many things that are checking off because of Gary Young and all the stuff that he was involved in. And it's like, it's shocking to hear the first time, which is why I don't like to bring it up as much as maybe I should. But good groups can stand up to scrutiny. People who are not trying to deceive you will not mind answering questions directly. And a lot of times we don't see that with recruiting or with answers about how the compensation structure works or how
100%.
the food stuff works. So I don't know. Keep an open mind. So if your opportunity that you're a part of is really great, it should stand up to scrutiny. It should stand up to questions.
And if it sounds too good to be true, ask those questions.
Yes. Yep. Well, live chat, you've been incredible. You always add so many good things to think about and to consider in these live streams. Thank you for bearing with me on the intro. I will make sure to have a timestamp in my video and also give it to Danielle so that you can click right over the technical difficulties and get right into the stream. Replay crew, much non-culty love to you. If you have anything that hits you or that you want to add, leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And if you made it 2 hours and 50 minutes into this live stream and actually like our videos, we'd love for you to actually like them. And if you want more long-winded live streams from me, definitely give it a follow, and hopefully Danielle will have me back. And all of y'all in my live chat, I would love for you to go support Danielle. If you check her out, she's has a really unique creative space on her platform. So thanks everybody. We will
Thanks
catch
everyone.
you on the next live stream. Okay.